Welcome back, universes. My name is Levi Lalonde, and I had to come sit my butt back in the caster seat with my boy, my king, my champion, the legendary caster himself, Mr. Sam Tate. Sam, you've been carrying this event on your back all weekend, but it's finally time for me to come in and alleviate some of that pressure because it's the grand finals, baby, and there's no way I couldn't be here right now because holy cow, do we have a matchup that I don't think anyone could have predicted. Actually, I'll say 50% of this, I guarantee you almost every single human in this room would have predicted, but that other 50%, that other icy hot 50%, I don't think that anyone could have seen this coming. Sam, everyone knows, I know, the entire world knows, but for the sake of a good time, tell the people what we're in store for.
Well, if you remember, at the beginning of day one, we sat here and you asked me, who's my pick to take it all? I said Life Overhaul.
You did.
Right? It's just such a good pick because it's the most represented deck.
Of course.
However, who had Water Todoroki, any water deck on their bingo card at all? But how many times have we been sitting here in this exact position in grand finals saying who had this on their bingo card, right?
Right. I feel like that's practically our bingo card of how many times do we say that at these events at this point, right? So many finals have come and gone, but man, truly none quite like this. The
sportsmanship, you love that.
I love it. The most represented character, possibly the best character in the room on one of his two ridiculously strong builds versus Shoto Todoroki won, man. Mm-hmm. and this is quite the heck of a Shoto Todoroki one deck, I'm being told, isn't it?
Right. So one thing that's really important, I want to point out, Todoroki 1 is the higher seed. Oh, Todoroki 1 is going first. So it is a tried and true, it's a tested deck. Carson Panos has been piloting it beautifully, but we've already seen Carson mill out an overhaul, albeit the evil version, a much smaller deck.
Okay.
But it has happened. And then we just saw him defeat Phil Birch with some blistering lines. Carson has been very okay with playing like one card, building 3, holding 3, and just really not using a lot of card draw and card advantage, but still managing to play expert defense. And so that's going to be really, really interesting. And I think Todoroki 1 is an incredibly good pick into things like repeated 100% smash because you and I have talked a lot about like what is a healthy design, what is like a healthy card that is really good. And repeated 100% smash is really, really good, but it's also really healthy because of the interaction points that Todoroki can take advantage of.
Truly, something that, we've been talking a whole lot about Phil Birch this weekend. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things to quote is Phil Birch coming in, catching up on the meta, and just seeing every single repeated rejuve deck and just looking at them and going, oh, so your deck just sucks when you don't draw repeated.
Right.
That is the Phil Birch quote of the season right there. and it's a little bit more nuanced than that for sure. But the point of the matter is that repeated is a massive, the most massive power pinpoint angle of these decks. Mm-hmm. Shoto saying, hey, I'm going to jump into a field of decks just like that have the most valuable, insane, singular enhance that carries their whole deck. I'm going to cancel them all freaking day. It's a good sleeper pick for sure, and it's also not out of character. If you're familiar with Carson Panos whatsoever, you know that this 100+ card triple-digit Shoto deck, this is a pile that he's been on for ages, a character he's been on for ages, and has actually seen a really unique slice of relevancy in a world where every deck skill turn teeters on one enhance, readying half or more of your stage.
Right. It's one of those things where if you have one really powerful ability, but it's the thing where it can make or break your turn, I think that is, like I said, healthy for the format and it makes for great gameplay. Whereas in the past, a lot of decks have really been all in on their repeated effects, ironically. And so one thing I do want to point out, though, on turn 1, overall had the fabled build 6, including one asset. We had double new training method, which built what looks to be a third new training method. We're only holding one card, but we could have access to upwards of 4 blocks as overhaul. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a pretty legendary build right there. New training method really just continuing to show how much it can define the early game and then how that scales into the mid and late game of these life symbol decks. Mm-hmm. Obviously it being the random 100+ card Shoto 1 deck in the finals of Pro Hero Nationals in you have to talk about that to an insane degree. But what we really have to talk about here,
sorry,
is the
really
other
quick,
side
a
of the
small faux pas. I thought it was very funny. We played the grasping tape toss. It got blocked for 3 damage, but Carson took his own life down for a second there, so we got that corrected. It's actually 24 for overall.
I was like, is he going to 17? What can't I see in the stage?
That would be
What
the
am I
worst
not-
attack of all time,
I know,
wouldn't it?
right?
You
Right?
take the damage if it's
throw.
blocked.
You take half damage if your own attack rounded up. Better be a darn good throw, man.
Right? Yeah, I better win the game if it is.
Literally,
Anyways.
right? I'll take 3 and then win the game.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
So-
copacetic, right?
Something that's been really interesting is when we watch Carson versus Evil Overhaul, both decks had Evil Amphibious Ambush in their deck. Probably the only 2 decks running Amphibious Ambush in 2023. You know, it was funny enough that they fought against each other, but now we're seeing the power of that, right? We get to potentially debuild Overhaul, a face-up card, but choosing not to do so because letting him build a face down is exactly what Overhaul really wants to do. So opting to just
Definitely not hard pressed to do it, right?
yeah, so we opt instead to just tuck our grasping tape toss into momentum now, and it's allowing us to have one of the most aggressive turns Carson has had for this entire
I was about to say, you've been talking about this guy decking people out on stream, decking overalls out. Carson's going a little locomotive right now. Is this
Right.
This is not traditional, right?
No, we watched for an entire game. He would play 1 attack, build and pass, play 1 attack, build and pass, and the number of times where he played more than 2 attacks was almost 0. But then in the last matchup, he decided to stay as Todoroki instead of bringing out that Toru sideboard and actually aggressed on Phil pretty heavily. So this deck is really big. The variance is really high, but Carson's managing to draw the right cards at the right time, and I mean that's what makes a champion in a card game.
I mean, he's drawing very efficient attacks, right? Ones that clear his card pool, ones that guarantee damage. You know, he's drawing the right ones for sure, and he's checking pretty well up until that last one there. So even though it was a pretty aggressive start, not a bad one by any means. However, going into this Life Overhaul deck with 2 ready foundations, and
Yikes.
I mean our character's ready, but we don't want to come in and pass a check. We're committing him to cancel the thing that kills us. 20 health is a really scary place to be right here. A solid like double, triple tongue whip string, it cleans us up right here. It cleans us up right here, Sam. As much as we got to talk about Carson's Shoto deck here, George is playing the cream of the crop right here. I think Life Overhaul is the best variant of the deck. I think it's really close between the two. I think Life has a much higher ceiling. The Earth deck is a little more helmet, a little more stable, both good and bad things in certain scenarios. But the fact that the Life deck just has these attacks that can just churn out, 30 damage or so at the drop of a hat. Overhaul is not famous for turn chewing people, but sometimes
But it's very possible.
It's very possible. 2 damage on all your moves with the right moves. That turn 2's a lot of 6-handers in the game, and you know what? It also turns to, Sam, a lot more 7-handers in the game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw George earlier in Top Cuts play back alley, tongue whip, repeated, ignoring progressive, and kill a 6-hander. Right, so it's definitely possible. Starting off with Future Charge, this is
It's so innocent, Sam.
Yeah,
this
is
so innocent.
We really would have liked to check a foundation here most of the time because you can flip that new training method, play it again with Overhaul, and get a ton of card advantage going. Just get that economy flowing. But it looks like we're going to go a little bit deep.
Ooh,
and
check
we're gonna
it at 2, though. We're going to check a 2.
Yeah,
a little
into
bit of
the breaker.
recovery time, breaker 1 coming in. This does not feel
However-
good. But if we're tongue whipping now, Sam, this is surely not the last tongue whip.
I would hope so because it's going to take more than 1 attack after this, I believe, to find lethal. I mean, we're going to get another card stuffed into the pool here, most likely, and then with Overhaul, this could get up to 8 damage and put us down to 12.
A very easy 8 damage.
Yeah,
And I don't know if George needs to kill Carson this turn, but he for sure needs to put some serious damage on the board. We're at 13, man. We took a clean casual 14 last turn, and that does not bode well for the late game. We really need to find value out of those cards that we held in our hand, or the ones that we built so wide via those new training methods. We got to get value out of that.
Yeah, if we play it repeated on a 5 after this and we get to ready 2 foundations, though, our stage is going to look like we checked beautifully this turn.
True, but are we going to get to ready those 2 foundations?
That's the question, right? That's what Todoroki's main game plan is probably here for. So we are going to see his tongue whip deal 8 damage, gain 1 back for Overhaul. Most importantly, we got a momentum for Airy.
Ooh, that is very clutch. That says my 14 next turn doesn't feel nearly as fraudulent. The Tongue Whip sending home for 8, though, means there's some very, very lethal lines here. But it looks
Choosing to
like,
play rescue completed, I like that
yeah,
a
I mean, if
lot.
we're not going to kill, we are happy with 8. We have gained the life total lead after taking 13 on the last turn. That's totally fine.
I think I would have rather have seen us play the flipped new training method, though, only because I know how card hungry Overhaul can be, and Todoroki can't cancel responses.
Ooh, that's true.
So we don't have passing the torch out yet, but most of our other card draw or card advantage comes from enhances, and at pivotal moments, Overhaul likes to go down to no cards. Todoroki can cancel those. Another thing that we saw earlier when Evil Overhaul had Airy out is Carson has Sports Festival Stadium in the main board, did have it out for the entire game, and you know, the way that Airy interacts with Sports Festival Stadium, you take the damage, you go to 1, then Sports Festival triggers, effectively nullifying
It's like
Airy.
full-on attack mode.
Right, exactly.
Crazy.
That
so
is
sick.
such a funny little interaction.
Man, so we're gonna get away from this turn, taking just shy of half our health total. I think the only reason Carson feels okay about the situation is because we dealt basically the same amount of damage, essentially evened George up last turn to that same area. Now they're just kind of back on a level playing field. Essentially, Carson's turn player advantage feels like it's been taken away from him on this game now, as George got to aggress back into us with really not quite any committal. Our board is so ready. And in fact, we put Arrow on the board. We stole momentum. We feel really, really, really good about, honestly, both of these guys' starts right now. It feels like it's right back to anyone's game. Sam, I want to point out something really, really, really funny. Backtracking a little bit to what you said about seeing 2 decks in top 4 running Amphibious Ambush. You know what we also saw in a very similar vein is 2 decks in this top 4 running Special Edition Collectible.
Really, there was another one?
Phil's deck was playing Special
my
Edition Collectible.
goodness.
After his top 8 game, he
makes
walked
sense.
up to me and he said, Levi, I just resolved Special Edition Collectible in top 8 of Nats. I don't care what happens anymore.
This format is completely off the wall, man. I mean, it shows you can basically play anything you want as long as you're willing to practice the deck and bring it, bring your A game when you try to play it. I mean, there's so many interesting choices. I can't wait to talk about a lot of these decks because obviously we're going to be talking about the grand finals decks as content creators, on the social medias, and there's so many cards in this Todoroki deck. There's no way you can talk about all of them.
It's so hard to talk about, man. I literally sat down and I said, "Hey, Sam, maybe like 10 minutes before we start this. I gotta read the Carson Panos thesis here on Shoto Todoroki
The
1."
time between semifinals and finals was almost exclusively the deck check, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. God bless the poor souls that had to deck
right.
check this thing
So-
over and over again.
One thing I really like about Carson's plays and the Todoroki deck is he has been fine to just draw a hand of half foundations, half attacks, and feel no pressure at all to attack. He just builds out, holds. He's been building down to 3 cards constantly, but we're opening our overhaul turn with repeated 100% smash, and that's not typically how you want to use this card, isn't it?
No, but when you have a bunch of them, it feels very okay, especially when you have things like passing the torch on board. You play it, you check a 5, you commit nothing, I guess I'll draw and then ready it for totally free. We don't have passing right now, but we do have rescue completed, which lets us do this. Essentially, I'll commit 1 for some speed, I'll ready it right back. That was a very, very, very free speed.
Yeah, it's also, they become more risky against the Todoroki deck. You don't want to put yourself in a position where, if we check a 3, Todoroki can basically commit his character to just put us in a losing situation. So
Correct. And the scariest part about that, Sam, is you have to pay for the 3 checked repeated, pay all the way, put yourself in the bad spot already, and then you get canceled.
Right.
And then if you don't do it, well then you're just going to get canceled somewhere else. You have to play into the cancel if you want to eventually do your cool thing somehow. Or you have to pull the brakes back a little bit and instead bait them into not canceling because of the threat and then just kind of taking your money and run. That's what we saw last turn, right? Nothing got canceled. We ate 8 from the tongue whip and said, well, I could play my repeated now, but it's just going to get canceled. I already got him to not cancel my tongue whip enhance or something like that. Yeah, let's chill out. Take the money and run. Take the money and run.
Yeah, so we got some rescue completed, trying to restore some speed here. We do have the half-hot ignition after, I believe it was a tape. It was either tape or a wall cling. We took no damage.
We taped it up. It up and took no damage. Which, I mean, if we had a multi-repeated turn, man, this actually could have been really frightening for us if we were holding no high blocks into something like this.
Yeah, so George's hand is pretty good here. We got a +1 low, we got a +2 high, a +1 high, and a Faith Shield. You know, the only zone we don't really have covered technically is the mid one, but we also have a passing the torch. So I think the main question here is, can I afford to go to deadlock, right? I think this is putting us at either at exactly 10 or at 11 because of the... Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I think we just went
looks
to
like
11.
3, 6. It looks like 10 to me. Are you counting
Okay.
Airy?
Oh, I think I was counting a face down that's actually the deck.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see new training,
I
double
see- what's
rescue,
the-
double keeping Airy safe.
What's the
face
card
down.
with the die on it? Is
The
that a
card with the
face down
die on it.
foundation?
Oh, yeah, I think that's the built this turn.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all
okay. Yeah.
separated.
This
by,
does
or no,
put
it's
us to-
readied this turn. That's the face down we
Sure,
readied
sure,
with
sure.
repeated.
Man, that's
Don't we have a token for that? We have a token for that in our beautiful
we
class
do, we do.
reunion
It's
box.
a cute little like spinny arrow. It looks like a refresh, little F4.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten your special dice and your special tokens, go out and get a class reunion box at your LGS.
Oh, dude, I steal some of those every time we run one of these events. I love those things.
We have one sitting on our desk all day.
we
actually.
really do. I'm for sure stealing it after we pack up.
Okay, so
going to
top left-
11 against this 4. What is it? Is it 4 grasping tape toss deck?
Yes.
Feels actually insane.
I think it's 4 of every attack that's in the deck. I could be
We
wrong.
got a couple 3-Fs. We got 3 of amphibious ambush, 3 of triple uppercut.
The
The
only
point is that if he
non-range,
drops
yeah.
the tape toss on us as we hit 11, oh my god, that deadlock enhance just makes us cry our eyes out, just
Okay.
like that desperate times right there. It makes us cry our eyes out just
Right.
like that.
Wall cling, kind of a big deal here. We had
yeah,
plus
I'd love to
ultra
bring a
and
wall cling on board. Does Carson have double basic training?
I think it's 1.
Insane if we went into
He has a
deadlock
bunch of
against
zeros. He has
double.
every card. He has every water card in this deck except Creepy Realization. That's the only one I've been able to identify that's not in the deck.
What water card isn't in our deck? Let me take a little look.
Yeah, it's a smaller list of cards not in the deck.
True.
So, and here's another great example, right?
we
We
got
drew exactly
4 graceful maneuvers. Holy cow.
Yeah, we drew exactly 1 attack, and yet we probably don't feel threatened. We get to play graceful maneuvers, a zone change, a wall clean. That means, 2 out of 3 of our blocks are going to be perfect. The only way Overhaul's going to be able to overcome this wall is through sheer volume. We're at a point where hand tax has been the absolute #1 formula of offense in this format. Everyone's trying to play 5, 6, 7 attacks, and the only way you're going to be dealing damage is by playing 4, 5, 6 attacks against this deck.
I agree. And if we're going to talk about hand taxing, well, George is the deck that gets to play Passing the Torch and reset it all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Carson is playing a deck where if he
But
doesn't draw a heat wave, he's a very 7-hand size character,
Yeah.
which against Overhaul, who oftentimes feels like an 8-hand size character, being a very 7-hand size character is actually a pitiful statement. And you know what? As we talk about draw power, Sam, I've identified the 1 water card not in Carson's deck.
Yeah, now what's really
We don't have Exhausted Exclamation. Our
Right.
draw power.
I was talking about that earlier too, right?
Really?
Where I
Love it.
was like, I was so surprised that in our character that commits itself, right? We don't have the E commit. We were talking about Passing the Torch versus Exhausted, where so many other symbols have to jump through hoops. We were comparing Sports Festival to Passing the Torch in that sense, where it's responsive and it's our repeatable draw effect. Like, it's wild. It's wild, the choices. And speaking of, here's Sports Festival that could be huge. Here's our other card draw, which is Frigid Heat Wave, but it's ephemeral. It's not repeatable. What's really
It's
important
also
here is
like not a real +2, right? We have to play a card,
Yes.
right? So it's really like a
and
+1.
you can't do it defensively. It's not
True.
like a clutch draw. It's a tempo draw.
Yep. And like, I mean, as we play it, right, we're poking into Overhaul, who now has 2 Passing the Torch on board. So we're just going to give him actually all of the cards that he wants throughout this turn.
Yeah, it looks like
but
we're
we do
doing-
have to enable our own draw too. We do have to do it.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing all the basic trainings on this one. We draw recovery time.
Oh my god.
We've got so much going on in this deck. Both these players have so many cards out. Now, I will say one thing. For the
No,
couple,
the special edition collectible, Sam. No, Sam, the one of
The one-of booster
it's
pack.
Gone. Our booster pack. My Chrome Rare is in there, Sam. My Chrome Rare is in there.
genuinely believe he only put that card in the deck so he can shuffle his 100 card deck mid-game.
You think so? I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's a bad idea, all things considered. When you have
No.
100 plus cards in your deck, look through 10 of them and find a goodie is really good.
Right. Now, one thing I think that's really important about this matchup, or at least from watching George play in a couple different matches now, is he doesn't really use his Passing the Torch as aggressively as a lot of the Life Overhauls. A lot of the Life, or the new training methods, right? We haven't been like flipping these, burning these, playing them again and trying to get like draw 2 on a turn cycle from passing the torch. Whereas my experience with Life Overhaul is that we're incredibly card hungry. And so we need to be aggressively using passing the torch, readying it, using it again, flipping it, building it for our rival's turn to try and keep up. But George has been able to play against slower and slower decks all day, to the point where we're playing against potentially the slowest deck in the tournament in grand finals. And I think these stages are going to balloon up to a place where it's going to be a puzzle that you have to solve. You have to navigate these massive stages, and really it's eliminating the variance element of the game and putting skill at the forefront.
I think we're already in deck out world, Sam.
Absolutely.
I think we're already in deck out world. I don't think that. I think if Carson plays to survive, he can never die through anything that George does.
Which is actually the smartest thing you can do from a deck building position.
Especially when you have more than 100 cards in your deck.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. If you are confident that you can actually survive all types of offense, right? You can let your opponent sculpt and sculpt until they have the perfect hand, but you can still survive. Why wouldn't you play a bigger deck? Why wouldn't you win through the ultimate win condition, which is essentially not having to win on your own turn?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're already at a point where, like, as much as Carson's got going on, I don't know if George's defense is actually breakable at any point in time. Double passing the torch, we're an 8-hand size character minimum from here on out. We're only going to find more. We're also not going to get George through our other kind of alternate win con, which is get 80 million ranged attacks in our discard pile, play a throw, make it 20 damage with Shoto. We're against a Faith Shield deck. That's never going to work. We literally got Faith Shield blocked, and on the Faith Shield block, checked a Faith Shield and picked it up with your training method. We're never getting any cheesy throw strat too. I think he actually has to deck George out.
You only have so many face shields, right? So it comes down to wall clings.
This is true.
It comes down to wall clings, and guess who can recycle wall clings, and guess who can't?
True.
So
George does only have one on the side though, and that's it, wall cling wise. So like we gotta side the one, find it, and then go from there. But that's game 2 territory. I'm thinking game 1 territory.
Yeah, game 1. If we have no wall cling, then yeah, absolutely, it could be an attrition, kind of game plan. But these life totals have been locked at 12 and 14, and it's only like this game plan is only possible because of the slower decks, because Eraserhead is so popular, because the Mirios managed to kind of get eliminated by other decks, right? It's only because Overhaul hasn't drawn the absolute nuts, because if Overhaul draws 5 attacks and one of them is repeated, then yeah, Todoroki can cancel it. But as soon as we have multiple repeateds, multiple maximum overhauls, we can kind of go all the way in, and checking a repeated on another repeated, not going to feel too good, because again, we need redundancy to fight that Todoroki response, because the life symbol really doesn't have like any answer to a character except an attack that Overhaul's not playing.
No, we very much have to kind of deal with the Shoto enhance where it comes from. At the same time, though, we have such a massive stage, and we have so many cards available to us now. With like these 19 foundations we have, double passing the torch. George's got all the resources now. All we have to do is figure out how to make a kill string that isn't reliant on one enhance happening, which is kind of how we described the repeated decks at the beginning of this game. But now we're in a world where the world that we're living in, it happens to also be George's oyster with everything that he has to work with. We can orchestrate a kill turn that is not solely reliant on one enhance. The actual question is it going to be a kill turn, right?
Yeah.
Against
I'm
this
very
massive
happy
wall that Carson has put up, and the defense still sitting in his hand. He's got so many options available to him.
I am very happy that we are, using these passing the torches aggressively, offensively, however you want to put it, get to ready it with repeated. This is that sort of card cycling that I wanted to see, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just say once per turn overall, I can play a face down, then no matter what happens, we flip the passing, build it on a 2, and then pass into our opponent's turn with even more cards. But it looks like we have a steady grip, but face shield also means later repeateds are just not going to be that effective.
Yeah, it's going to clean the value out of our future repeateds just a little bit here. This might just be a poke turn. This might just be a, hey, let me play my repeated, let me draw a couple cards with passing, then we'll see what happens, right? But I mean, we've got a fresh, ready passing now, ready to draw again, and a future charge in hand ready to draw for us. Effectively turning us into a 10-hand size character this turn. We're really getting to flex the resource game that life allows us to.
Yeah, I mean that has been the main reason to play Life, right? Is you get the no hoops card draw abilities, and we're just so lucky that Future Charge happens to have Punch.
It sure does. It's got some pretty, for such an unassuming attack, right? It's got some
Hmm.
very very nice keywords and a nice little enhanced text box inside of it, especially as we draw these multiples here. Oh my god, astounding. We're 12-hander
Oh,
this turn. Epic 12-hander moment and on the 6 checking a 6. Actually insane. Well, okay, checking a 5. We got just a little
well,
bit
he's got
break
the
right
face
there.
down in the card pool, so it's on a 6 with -1.
Correct, correct,
Yeah,
correct.
so
So
we do
we
have to commit 1.
Yeah, we've checked our
Yeah,
five, so we're gonna have to pay just a little bit for this. Not quite
yeah.
as free as we might have hoped. But
Double
I mean,
Future Charge. What does it do? How
it's
does it work?
it's a tale as old as time. What's in the pot? A pair of cards just for us.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the pair of cards that we drew off of our passing the torch earlier.
Right. Now, I had an argument with Keenan earlier, right, in one of our rounds, talking about how greedy you have to play, and it's one of those things where I'm loving the greed here. I'm loving the card flow, but it doesn't look like it quite paid off. It looks like we only have one more attack, and it's a tongue whip, and I just can't see that one getting through the 3 cards in Carson's hand. And we have still wall cling left. We have a zone change, I'm pretty sure now. Plus Ultra is coming down to block a future charge.
Wow.
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
just
we
the
are
mid
starting
block
to
we
commit
have.
resources, though, which means that while we're probably not going to kill Carson anytime soon, we are going to make him actually use cards to stop us from here on out.
The
It's a
main
pretty
question
rough
is
check, though.
the main question is what do we have face down? Because we haven't played a card from
Yep.
our stage yet.
I mean, it's got to be a repeated, right?
A repeated,
Or
likely
another
gets
tongue whip.
canceled. Yeah, I think another tongue whip probably has a better chance of dealing
I
damage, but
agree, because
almost
you can
none.
cancel the damage, sure, but then you'll still take 6 because it's 4 in an overhaul, and that's totally fine by me. Or you can cancel, put one in your card pool, which is also -1 damage, which also might make it more
But
blockable. It's -1 speed.
but Carson has 4 graceful maneuvers main board, so it's actually just neutral speed.
It is actually just neutral
Yeah,
speed.
actually
If we're going to be using those right then and there to block that swing, yeah, it actually
Yeah.
doesn't do very much for us at all.
Carson
It's
looked at
very unimpressive.
Carson looked at all these life decks, jamming Tongue Whip as their only way to get speed. Played the one card that basically counters that speed wise, and that was the bread and butter for both Life Overhaul and Earth Overhaul. And it's pretty much been the identity of the water symbol in general is the Tongue Whip. So, I mean, these are just great meta calls. This is just recognizing where the game is at and responding to it accordingly.
Yeah, the technology throughout Carson's deck is really impressive here.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what's going on in the meta. He knows that he's got repeateds to cancel day in and day out. That our character is taking care of that. Now, what can our main deck take care of?
Oh,
With
that's a
113
good one to play
cards,
from
just about
your...
everything under the sun. Yeah, this is fantastic.
We are going to get Todoroki to turn sideways. That's pretty cool.
We're for sure gonna get Todoroki to turn sideways.
This is
100%.
officially the 90 degrees enhance.
And the rough part too is that if we aren't able to perform a block after canceling the maximum overhaul's top enhance, we're still taking 7 to the face, and that doesn't feel fantastic. When we've only got 12 of those, that's very 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 hardcore danger zone. I mean, with 3 things in the pool, a 4-speed move is certainly not unblockable. We've got the graceful maneuvers on hand. We just have to have the right zone. It's very 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 possible. At the same time here, this is not like the most luxuriously valuable Shoto enhance here. Commit my character and mill 3 for effectively just -3 speed if we have the full block here. But it's for sure a lot better than literally dying to this. Does he have a tongue whip and ice storm in the hand? Oh man. Well, we for sure have the full
Oh,
block.
that is the play. That is
No
my
way.
favorite play
No
from this
way.
deck is maximum
No
overall the build
way.
trade sheet cape.
Holy
In my final
cow, Sam.
in my
Sam,
final
I'm losing my mind right now. He's deadlocked up.
in my final testing session with Nathan DeWalt, this is the only play I ever had to possibly kill him. Was exactly maximum overall to build down the deadlock trade sheet from a complete surprise. It's not something you can plan around, right? So we baited the cancel on the pick up 3, and instead we built an asset that has a potential to pick up 2. Now we only have one range in our
Nuts.
card pool though.
We
so
do, but grab a tongue whip here feels pretty freaking good, Sam.
grab
I mean,
a tongue whip gets very close to lethal.
we have to jam it on a 9. We have to jam it on a 9, but that's it's not we have what 1, 2, 3. We have double rescue to ready some face downs as well.
Ooh, checking a 3 there is definitely gonna hurt, but I think we still get to block this.
Did we self-assured and made this a high?
Is
Because that's
that?
the high block. That's drowning in resentment.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was irrefutable
Yeah,
for some
grab
reason.
tongue whip. Or I'm sorry, it's on an 8 because we're picking
Yeah.
up the tongue whip.
So tongue whip's gonna clog the pool. It's gonna get +5, then +2 from overall. We need to
That's
find
11, right?
Yeah,
We
but
don't.
do we have a self-sack in stage? That's exact.
I do believe that's our one diff between the rescue and the release, but we didn't pop those rescues to ready some. This is on an 8. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have what, five
There's
things
an
to
Aries
commit, right?
stacked in there,
We
right?
have a passing the torch down here. Are there any face downs under it? Oh my god, this stage is a mess.
Yeah,
He's got
I
another
think-
maximum overhaul.
Oh my goodness.
That's also not lethal though. The tongue whip is
No,
actually
if
bigger
the
than
max-
maximum overhaul.
Yeah, you're right because it gets to +5. I was gonna say it starts at 5,
Nah,
gets
tongue whip is
+3.
9. Tongue whip is 9
10,
post
11,
buffs. Maximum is
You
8
got a
post
tongue whip.
buffs.
You got a tongue whip.
Tongue
Tongue
whip,
whip for
tongue
game.
whip plus self sack. It's on an 8 though. Can we check? If we check a 5, obviously we're golden. But if we check a 3, we have to commit all 5 of our foundations, which means we don't have the self sack.
Oh, there it
But
is.
we
He's
check the
goaded
5.
with the
Oh my
sauce.
god! Is this snap?
This
it?
is the puzzle solving
Oh,
play.
deck out my rear axle, Sam Tate. Not a chance. George says that stage is not quite enough to protect you from this string right here.
Minus all that speed.
No way.
Take it back,
We had
Levi.
another- we had another graceful?
Take it back. We're milling him out.
We had another graceful.
Yep, we had double graceful.
Wow.
That means all of these tongue whips are basically just -2 speed.
But we only have a half block.
Now, what I need to see is the rescue completeds start. Oh, we only have one rescue
Okay,
completed.
hang on. This tongue whip is going to go to 9, 10 with self sack, 12 with
With
overhaul. You'll take 6 and then lose one from Sports Festival. So we're going to be going down to what, 5 on this one. He's only got an Ice Storm half block in hand. I believe Carson's only got an Ice Storm half block in hand.
Yeah, but
Otherwise,
that breaker 2 is going to mean that there's literally no follow up,
for
even if we
sure, for
ready
sure.
to with rescue completed.
and then I
right?
think we're just dead to Carson's somewhat reasonable backswing of it.
Well, he's going to be drawing 7 random cards, right? Out of 110.
We sure to lose all the good ones.
I mean,
what-
he has been drawing what he needs when he needs to.
This guy's been seeing a lot of attacks lately, Sam. Now, what are the ratios looking like? Let's pan
What's
over,
the likely?
right? We
well,
got
really quick. What's the
yeah,
likelihood
yeah,
that we
yeah,
just
yeah,
check
yeah,
a 3
yeah.
and can't block? It'll be on a 4, right?
-5 speed, right? So it's -1 Ice Storm, -1 on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait,
Yeah.
can we even check this? We don't have anything to commit. Oh, we have a tongue whip block.
And it's a low.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh man, we were basically blocking that on a 4 because the graceful gets rid of the progressive.
Oh,
and
we
had the
also
-2.
rescued. We
Yeah.
rescued it for -2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's insane. It was. I could have sworn
What we
he had
needed
an Ice
to-
Storm in
yeah.
the hand. I could have sworn. I guess I'm losing my mind, Sam Tate. Gotten rusty, huh, Levi? It would
Oh,
seem.
my.
But can Carson draw the backswing? That's the actual question.
That's insane. He has had perfect block zones every time. It's crazy. He is
5
psychic. He is
massive
from the
attacks
future.
in, Sam. 5 massive
He is-
attacks in. Not a single ounce of damage. Not
He is-
not even the single drop of blood.
We
that
removed
these
our
chains
deadlock.
Yeah, we also lost our best deadlock piece. I
Mm.
mean, that was the play right there, though. To sneak in right there. Also, like,
Can we talk about the face shield on the very first attack to get rid of our second range, which we could have played to ready other foundations to play the tongue whip after, which would have actually won us the game. Oh my god.
oh my goodness, ludicrous.
You have to go.
Ludicrous.
You have to go so far back in time.
But
to
let's see that
figure
hand.
out.
No way.
You have to go.
Cheerful, and an ice storm. Was that a heat wave? Oh, he's put the hand down, doing a little once over, Okay, yep, cheerful in the heat wave. Let's get the rest in here. I mean, it might be a
And a
lethal
tongue whip.
hand. We've got to draw 2 from the heat wave coming in hot.
We have
I mean,
we have heat wave cheerful tongue whip.
yeah, I mean, we
I
have
mean-
30 attacks inside of our 112 card deck. So, like, I mean, it's actually a pretty light ratio, all things considered. But in our 7 hand size character, and in this current position where we have nothing but a pair of releases and a rescue completed. I mean, that's still an actual level.
I mean, a
of
release and
defense.
a dream is all I need.
2 releases, a rescue completed, and a block with no progressive. That also might be all that George needs.
Right. It's gonna be pretty crazy. We also have Aries still.
We do a very.
So we have to answer the
air.
Aries. So like
I think.
defensively, there's not much.
But
you'd
we have
really
the
wanna
stadium,
cancel.
right? You said that cancels area out.
Oh, true,
Yeah,
true,
the
true,
Stadium
true,
Beats
true.
Area,
Yes, you're
right?
I forget.
Right?
I forgot it was there because it's just been chilling this whole
It
time
has
because
just
no
been
one's taking
chilling there.
damage
Yeah,
for half
we
an
played
hour.
5
These
attacks.
guys have been playing perfect
We played
defense.
5
They put up
attacks
their
last
walls.
turn, and Carson didn't take a single point of damage. What we actually really needed to open with here was like a giant ice wall. A stun 2 move would have like
Into
actually
another stun too.
it would have
Yes.
locked it in.
I bet
It
you he
would have
draws
full
one.
locked it
I
in.
bet he just draws two and
Off the heat wave,
yeah.
that'd be pretty epic. That'd be pretty epic. We got 4 of those bad boys.
Yeah. What also is epic is the amount of damage pump we get. All of these are pretty much lethal. All of these are swinging.
Yeah, and we've
They're
definitely got the resources.
swinging.
We've for sure got the resources to commit. 100% of the resources. We have a ton of foundations right now, and it's going to be very easy to load those massive chunks of damage onto all of our moves. I do think that George can live
We
this
are
turn.
drawing off self-assured. We're cashing in. What is that?
And
An
not an orange
all-out
card to-
battle?
It's
Is that a go beyond? He's
go
got two
beyond.
go beyond in the
There are
main
2
board.
go beyond.
You've
in
got
the main
110
board.
cards. You got
I
room
thought
for
that
everything.
guy died, Sam.
I've
What
never
about the accident, Sam? What about the accident?
the only time I. It's a shame what happened to go beyond.
It's truly a shame.
Like
May God rest his soul.
I've literally never seen this card resolved in my life. Not a single time. The only time anyone has ever talked about the card Go Beyond was as a joke for characters other than Asui
Damn, it's
to activate Amphibious because it technically leaves the card pool for effect.
Sam, it's about to win us the game.
Yes.
It's
well,
about to win us the game in
we
the
have an
grand
observant
finals
student?
of 2020.
do we have an observant student on our stage?
I
that
have no idea.
That
I can't
enables
see Carson's stage at all, bro.
yeah. This activates the deadlock on observant student because it leaves the card pool for the effect.
God. Dude, I can't handle this. I actually can't handle it. We do a manifest? Dude, what's happening? We have a nullify and a manifest. We're about to deadlock enhance and tell both releases to get the heck out of here.
Oh my god.
Dude, I can't handle this, Sam.
Do you know how many times I've lost to a grasping tape toss bottom decking both my releases?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's only happened once, but it was on stream in Pasadena, and I'm still salty about it.
Dude, it's happened to me in immeasurable amount of time.
Dude, this is crazy. Carson Panos just took literally every good card on the water symbol, put him in sleeves, then added some infinity symbol cards, and has drawn every single thing he's needed at the exact right
Sam,
moment.
finals is about to be won by a go beyond. By a go beyond.
Is it Gen Con already?
Grabbing our grasping tape toss to deadlock enhance 2 releases away for game.
And also to like force you to have throw hate, right? Throw hate that you can't use. Well, we committed the sports festival, draw another card. So
I can't
we've drawn
handle
like so
this,
many
dude.
cards this turn. This is insane.
I can't believe we
This is
we
peak
pop-
universes, like genuinely.
I can't believe we popped the sports festival early though against as we're about to slam down this 14 damage throw against the Faith Shield deck.
Right.
That's kind of crazy.
This is just perfect universes because Carson came into it from a standpoint where he never has to actually beat you because of how big his deck is.
Wow.
And then you have to take risks that George is taking, and when they don't pan out, he gets to draw a million cards off self-assured and dunk you on the backswing. This is beautiful game theory. This is the peak of our game.
He's been watching and waiting and seeing everything going on this entire season. He saw an RLE get won by deck out.
Yes.
He's been watching these 3-hour top cut games.
Yes.
He's been watching Eraserheads and Overhauls dawdle at each other like penguins trying to fly but never quite attaining anything close to a kill turn. Literally just sitting there staring
just
at
nullify.
everyone doing their best Nathan DeWalt impression throughout all of these top cuts and never killing a man whatsoever. And he said, I'll play 113 cards in my deck.
We just nullified the overhaul enhance.
We
just canceled overhaul.
I can't do this.
I've wanted to cancel a character ability with nullify for so long.
Did you watch the UK Nationals?
I did. I was
how
very jealous.
It was completely won by Eraserheads going, if I stop overhauls, play the repeated as my 7th attack in the turn, I just win. And that's literally what we watched all day. We watched the Life Overhauls just running these super duper hardcore repeated strings, planning to play the repeated as on a 5 as their 5th, 6th, 7th card, and just getting nullified in their tracks.
Just to rub it in, we're going to use our own rescue completed to ready to face
my
downs.
goodness.
We have committed quite a few cards this turn. turn, but we don't have the Faith Shield. We're going to block this on, what, a 6? I guess on a 5, it looks like.
It looks
We
like
haven't committed. Oh, release? We did get to release.
We did get to release before.
We didn't bottom deck.
We didn't bottom deck both of them. That's crazy. We hit a release and a rescue. The releases will provide way.
Let's go beyond a first in hand. No, we did it on the last attack.
Yeah, that was that was how we got here. But I do believe it. No, it's not a first enhance. It's just a UA one enhance.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So
cheerful uppercut.
I mean, we're down to what, 4? It's like slightly off the screen.
It's slightly off the screen, and it's.
But
and
that
it's
was like
driving me bananas.
There was like a 14 damage throw
It
that
was
we had
something
to
like
partial.
that. Either we're at 5. Either way, this cheerful uppercut's got to be lethal, right? I mean, it's Shoto.
Anything's
He can
lethal.
make it lethal.
Like,
Yeah,
anything's
Shoto makes
lethal.
every single move lethal here.
He actually can't pump the uppercut. It's the
you're right.
only thing in the deck that isn't lethal right now.
That is true.
With
that is
authority?
Because we have paid all of our momentum for that nullify play. We no longer have one to spend on our. No. We can pump uppercut.
Did he just play a foundation? That's a 2-diff, right?
He did.
We're not.
What? Was the uppercut not just lethal?
I thought we had a tongue whip. The uppercut's not lethal. The uppercut is not lethal. It's the
How?
only thing.
How?
You don't have momentum. You can't pump it.
Yes, you can.
With what?
With Shoto.
No, you can't. It's not a ranged attack, Levi.
It only pumps for the ranged attacks in our discard pile. He's on the screen right now, Sam.
What?
He pumps anything.
Any attack gets it?
He pumps anything, Sam.
I've been playing this character wrong the whole time. I've never put a non-ranged attack in a Todoroki deck.
Bro, it's triple uppercut, bro. Yeah, anything we literally jam uppercut on a 7, check a 3, commit my 4 foundations.
I'm genuinely
as my only enhance. I commit Shoto.
I'm genuinely
as a foundation.
I'm genuinely the most confused human being of all time.
Yeah, I think that was just guaranteed.
The only thing I can think of, is somehow Carson doesn't recognize the interaction
that Stadium
between
beats
Stadium
Airy.
and Airy.
You think that's why he didn't play it?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Stadium beats if you're right, then Stadium beats Airy, which I'm just going to trust that you are because I'm not very.
Well, no,
intelligent.
I mean you can just read the card. It explains the card.
Yeah, but Sam, I'm a little stupid.
Well, Airy, it's really simple, right? Airy says you take damage equal to your health -1, which leaves you at 1. After you take the damage that leaves you at 1, that's when Sports Festival triggers.
Yeah, before the damage step, reduce it to your current health -1. Now burn 1.
Right,
Goofball.
exactly. That's the
Seems
order,
pretty
so.
self-explanatory to me.
And now we're going to see Muscle Water come down, which we talked about that deadlock being very, very, very strong because it doesn't take your opponent out of deadlock, allowing you to use your other deadlock effects. But what other deadlock effects are we going to have access to on this turn? We could also draw that momentum back since it's not really helping us with Airy, right?
I mean, if we're going to find lethality this turn, we definitely don't need it for Airy anytime soon. But yes, given that Stadium is on the board, we sure never need it for Airy.
I still can't believe I could be playing non-ranged throws in Todoroki. My mind is blown.
This guy, literally staring at Shoto on the screen. I'm sitting here going, what do you mean the uppercut's
Imagine
not
putting a
lethal?
non-ranged attack in your Todoroki deck.
Bro,
Couldn't
cheerful
be me.
uppercut's busted, man. In my cheerful uppercut,
In my tape deck?
struggling with studies.
Wow, we
tape.
took that on the chin. Did we not flip 2 things? What did we flip? I'm missing so much. There's so much happening.
We
also didn't
There's some
draw.
ready things down there that I
We
believe
also didn't
flipped.
draw our momentum.
We also didn't draw our momentum.
Or maybe we canceled.
Or
with
even
Todoroki.
try to dig with passing the torch. We didn't even commit our passings. We're just chill with being done. There's no way we're just chill with being done attacking.
Maybe no.
here.
We didn't have that many cards left in our deck, and so we knew that if we drew with passing, we would not draw an attack, and now we have to cycle. That's a play. I just don't know why we didn't pick up our momentum.
Yeah, I'm truly
Our
not.
momentum can't be a random card, right? It has to be an attack that we dealt with earlier in the game.
It is definitely.
It's amazing to think that Carson Panos took damage at some point in this game because I think he's been hit
It's
twice.
our tongue whip
Yeah.
that hit for 8.
Yeah.
It's our tongue whip that hit for 8. What? Oh my goodness!
I'm the most confused human being of all time.
I'm still trying to process that. From what I understand, Carson had a guaranteed lethal line last turn we didn't take. But now
Maybe if you
I
check
have
the
to
3?
stop. No, we had 4 foundations to commit. It was on a 7, right? We check a 3, 4, 5, 6,
Right,
7.
yeah.
Leaves my character up. Commit Shoto as cost, plus a million
we destroyed
damage.
the rescue completed explicitly for this play?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I don't know, man. You got to take a risk sometime. Like, what was even the risk?
Yeah,
there?
I don't think there was a risk. But I
Maybe
can't...
I'm going to watch this back later on Twitch and, like, see something I missed, but Oh my God, we didn't even need to pump with Todoroki. We had
Chat's
the
helped us
sports
out. It got
festival.
cheerleadered. It got cheerleadered. It got cheerleadered.
I'm out of my mind.
It got cheerleadered. It all makes sense now.
Okay.
It all makes sense now.
All right.
It all makes sense
Sorry,
now.
we're just still reeling from the actually lethal even without Todoroki because of Sports Festival uppercut.
I'm retaining no accountability for any of this whatsoever, Sam, because I can see approximately 3 of Carson's foundations.
Right?
3 of his 18 foundations
That's
are visible
true.
to me.
Hey, try doing this all day. You've been out having fun, showing off chrome rares, talking to Ricardo
That's what
Fajardo.
I'm saying, man.
I've been in the trenches trying to figure out how do you beat this deck.
Right? I don't know, man. I don't know, and I don't know if George knows either, man. See, Cheerleader's busy flashing attacks. The venue is flashing Carson's entire stage.
Exactly. This is absolutely wild. One more throw.
Are we building? Oh my goodness.
One more throw does it, right?
One
Because
more
we don't have a
throw
wall.
with
we can
no
cancel
Faith
wall
Shield.
cling. We can Sports Festival,
Oh,
a
you're
face
right.
shield. God, I love this deck.
True.
I'm going to terrorize my locals with 110 card Todoroki. Nobody can stop me.
But guys, I thought the water symbol was bad.
No, the water symbol it doesn't build the deck for you. There's too many people who don't see a card like Repeated or a card like Back Alley Haymaker that just tells you how to play the game. Instead, they see a bunch of good cards that don't reference each other, and nobody knows how to put them all together. But the water symbol has had cracked cards since set 1.
This is crazy. Yeah, I mean, water was cream of the crop in set 1, and it actually never got worse. Everything else just got way better. Everything else just got way better around it.
Everything else became like more synergistic, so you could have these crazy combo pop-off turns, while water has just been a humble symbol looking to play with the cards in its hand, unless you're Asui.
I think the actual thing that chilled water out, Sam, was obviously not getting a massive new card pool, but I think it kind of fell into the set 1 chaos symbol problem, where it just didn't have any character that wanted.
Toga promo?
Huh? That's Stalking Her Prey. That's the chibi one from the first season of RLEs.
What does Stalking Her Prey do?
It's when they increase their speed, flip -3 speed.
What's the other effect on it?
It's like Toga Enhance, flip.
So nothing in this deck?
No. It's like remove one of your momentum, put one from discard pile into momentum, but it's Toga Enhance.
Interesting. So we have all the Gracefuls, we have all the rescues, we have all the gotchas.
Sam, I paid you with these in Kissimmee, Florida this year. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm trying to forget that event. all right?
That's true. That's actually
I'm trying to forget that.
100,000% valid. George is trying to clean up this game right now, though. Back alley on a 5. The Almighty.
Will
I mean, I don't know if there's any level of speed that's ever going to get through.
We still had momentum for the cheerleader. I'm still like 3 turns in the past. This is
There's
the Back to the Future game because
been a
time
whole
traveling.
lot to think about throughout both of these games. These turns, I mean, honestly, the pace of play has been astounding, and if anything, we're the ones having trouble keeping up with it. And
Yeah,
it's just
that's true, too.
there's a lot of really wild decisions being made that are really, really hard to quite put my finger on. And before I know it, I have to stop thinking about it because we're already knee deep into a whole nother turn of insanity.
Yeah, I love how people complain about Grey Wars a lot, and yet this is faster than the Todoroki mirror.
Yeah.
Or not Todoroki, Tokoyami. Sorry, not Todoroki.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, there's no way we could have a Todoroki mirror when there's only one person playing.
There's definitely only one person playing Todoroki.
But we'll watch 2 aggro decks like contemplate every single +1 for like 5 full minutes, and try to decide if I check a 3, can I pass it and things like that. But these guys are blistering back and forth through these labyrinthine style stages, and the back and forth has just been absolutely excellent. Now, one thing that we do have is Deadlock Heroic Assistance. Once we get down to only a few cards in hand, Overhaul can snipe the correct zone, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's time to get a little
What
bit
we're
of a
doing it
peak
now.
season, see what you got. But man, with 6 cards in hand, it's gonna be rough. We're looking at
Face Shield.
We're looking at Faith
Your
Shield.
zone doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're looking at 1 Omni block and then
I feel like we ripped this off first.
3 highs, 1 low, and uppercut.
So I'm
we-
going to say right now, I think the correct play, no matter what after this, especially if they block with Cheerful Uppercut, is to play no more attacks.
Yeah.
Because the likelihood that Todoroki will draw any amount of attacks is so greatly decreased, and you know that all you have to defend against right now is a Cheerful Uppercut, right?
I mean, those are hard gambles to take if you don't have a Faith Shield somewhere in access to you, because then you're just going, well, if
he
I
might
just
draw a
dare him to
throw.
draw a throw, he kills me, right?
I guess you could count the discard pile, look for how many throws there are.
Right. Right. These
we've
guys
gone
have
through
seen
some
each other's deck
grasping.
lists, right? He would know that grasping tape toss is question
Wait,
mark the only
we
throw.
chose to make this a low?
Yeah, because our rival only had one low block in hand.
Yeah, but that low block flips and draws a card.
I mean, yeah. That just means he's going for the kill, right?
No, but that's like by far the worst zone to pick
I'm-
because our opponent just flipped our other heroic assistants and then drew a random card, so now we don't know what's in their
So you
hand.
think it'd be better to have left it mid and to try and go mid this turn? Because we only have one mid block and
Yeah,
then
I
Faith
want you to
Shield.
block with your attack 1000%.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't want you to flip my other heroic assistant and draw a random card.
Right.
So
yeah,
if we thought
especially
that
as
our
we play
opponent wasn't-
another mid here. Yeah, mid might have just been the way to stay this turn, I think.
at least on the last attack, because he can't afford the partial.
No, definitely not.
So I mean, we literally just played the only way. We chose the only zone that allows us to not heroic assistant this attack.
Oh man, and off that all out battle draw, we found an ice gliding. So we now have another mid block as well.
Yeah.
So we actually just have to find innate low attacks to finish off Carson here.
we're also not using our passings yet, so we have to have another
We
attack.
just got to have a million tongue whips, right?
Hey, we've seen Carson survive a triple tongue whip already this
Ooh,
tournament.
it looks like
It's one
repeated
of
on an
the only
8 time
people.
though.
All
It's time.
right.
It's for check a 4.
It's the 90-degree attack. It's
The
a 90-degree combo.
yeah, a little Pythagorean theorem card
Yeah.
pool for you, Sam. Take
We're
'em-
gonna-
take all the ones that way, turn them that way.
it
Hooks
looks a lot
on
like-
phonics, Sam
This looks
Tate.
a lot like a somnambulism in this matchup.
Yeah, this our
we-
repeated currently reads enhanced commit Shoto Todoroki 1 dot.
Yeah, but the real question is which enhancer are you going to use to do it? Because if he cancels the ready-ish million cards, we get to EX this with 2, and that could put some real pressure on the board. However, that
Yeah.
manifest means that going up to 5 says that, well, I guess with Overhaul, everything's doing at least 5.
Right. It looks like we have a maximum overhaul chilling down in the stage as well, which is we have a maximum overhaul in the stage and 1 in hand. That's 2 low attacks, and that might be game, Sam.
Yeah, I would much rather cancel the maximum overhaul than the ready foundations. I think we're making the absolute right call here with Carson.
Yep.
Where, we have so many foundations anyways that readying 3 face downs isn't going to matter that
I don't
much.
know, man. If we're trying to jam max on a 9 and then max on a 5, yeah,
One
yeah,
of
you're
them's
right.
ignoring progressive,
yeah,
right?
that's on a
Yeah.
9 on a 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. I think holding a cancel for like an EX. I mean, I think Carson's just down to actually flip both stalking her praise and just effectively cancel out that EX and say I'll prepare. The issue is we have to figure out how to block 2 7-speed max overhauls after this.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we did force out the one known low block, which would be the path to getting maximum overhaul in there. So
That's
I
why we
can't
went
agree
low
with
for
that,
sure.
yeah.
That's for sure why we went low.
Ooh, checking a 3 here. This is definitely going to matter.
Oh yeah,
This is
that's a
definitely
pretty
important.
fat 3 check. That's a pretty fat 3 check. We do gain 2 health though. Not gonna be very relevant
For
against
fun.
these for the memes.
Yeah.
Hey, it's so we
Just
can
to
pay
say
4
our-
later on.
It's so our deck can say, so we can say our deck literally does everything.
Yep. Now this one just came from the stage, right? I think that one just came from the stage,
Yeah.
right? This is me on a 5, commit one of my measly resources. Still no draws off the passing torch because we've already got the other maximum overhaul in hand. And he said, I might actually just need these to pass checks.
When you got it, you got it.
I'll draw them once I actually need to. And then we still do have the second heroic assistance deadlock coming in. Oh, we could pick it up and rebuild it.
Yes.
Nuts.
Exactly.
Pick it up, rebuild it with maximum
Or we
overhaul.
can do it again.
He said, hey, let me figure out what's in your hand.
What
Just
did
make-
you draw,
make-
right?
make
What if
sure-
we drew another all-out battle?
Oh, that would be nuts.
That would be the funniest. But then you just go high again,
We
right?
make it a high, and then we get blocked by the frozen, and then
And then we play another max overhaul, build it again,
Yeah.
change
Make-
the zone again.
make it a high
This is
again.
actually a sick deadlock loop, and I'm so here for
dude,
it. This
maximum
is,
overhaul is so busted.
dude, this
man.
is the interaction I've been looking. It is busted. You can
It-
quote me. You can go into the main Discord.
it's
You
true.
can search up Ace maneuvers. You can see everything I've said about maximum overhaul.
Build a
And
card
it's
from
all
your
of
hand
this.
face up is like already a bonkers ability. But when
Yeah.
it also says pick up one of your face downs that you've just flipped and used the busted flip on to then go and reuse, just crazy stuff. Oh my god! Yep, give my trusted assistants back,
Yeah.
or my heroic assistants. Oh my god!
What
this
is
so
the
wild.
best card to build from our hand? I have to know.
From our hand?
Yeah.
I
what
mean,
is-
we might have another. We might have if we have another cape. That might be the
Yes.
move. Epic repeated moments once more. I don't know though. There's a lot of cards in George's hand that are probably pretty freaking sweet to
Oh,
build.
now we're gonna draw.
Oh, do you think we're digging for
That's
the second?
disrespectful,
Are we
actually.
digging for the second cape in the deck? Maybe.
Is there a second cape?
There's 2 capes in this bad
God,
boy.
both these decks are so big.
There's 2 capes for this bad
if
boy.
we build
It's
down,
only
we still only have one range to pick up, which
67.
is kind of whack. But
We do still only have one range to pick up. That is actually really, really whack.
we still have not canceled anything with Todoroki.
No, that's the really scary part. I think he's realizing that he might need to stop one of the max overhaul enhances just to not die on the half block. That's probably the
Right.
world that we're going to actually end up living in. But then we have to figure out
We're
how
also
to.
committing a lot of resources.
Oh.
We're actually committing so many resources we could start failing checks,
Yeah.
which means we need at least another attack in our mind.
Yeah. What are you building from hand, George? I would love to see the 20,000 cards in George's hand right now. Oh my God, he's
He's going through them
actually
so fast.
he's actually just got 1,000,000 of them, man. This guy's a
Man.
beast.
We're
Building a rescue
rescue?
completed to ready to face downs question mark. We don't have any face downs to ready, do we?
I
feel like I'm
I
looking
mean,
at
we
this
can
whole
commit
state.
some.
Sure.
Also, does rescue complete say that hasn't been? I think it's the only thing that cares about hasn't been raid yet for face downs, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, aside from repeated, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's something that calls out face downs explicitly.
Oh,
Typically,
okay,
when
okay,
something
okay.
says ready face downs, like I think Ochako 4, they don't really care if they've been readied already.
Yeah.
And that is the only one, like frog lashing versus rescue.
Yeah.
completed,
Okay, I
basically.
see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. This just got face shield blocked, and we didn't even have to pay very much for it. But with these 3 cards in our card pool now, this new maximum overhaul on a 10 is looking really scary. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I love how he just has
9,
a
10.
die counting how many he's ready.
Crazy. We have triple rescue completed. I mean,
what do we build this time?
oh man.
What do
I
we
mean,
pick up and build from our hand this time?
I mean, now this is where you throw out. This is where you throw down the heroic assistance, right? We have another maximum
Another
overhaul in
max
hand.
overhaul?
We have another.
How many are in the main board? Is it really?
It's got to be
That
4,
is
right? Yeah, it's a
3 or
big.
4.
It's a big fat 4. Yeah. It's maximum overhaul,
Even
baby.
on the live version, man, it turns out that card was busted.
All right, so we got to cancel the pickup here because if so, it becomes
Too fast.
It becomes
No.
too fast, I think. Yeah. I don't think it makes us die on the half though, right? Because it gets to 5,
we
6,
got
7,
minus
8.
2 from
No.
rescue.
If we pick up, we die on the half. It becomes 10, right? 5, 6, 7, 8 from itself, 10 from overhaul. We have to cancel.
Also +1 from Sports Festival.
And also the tight lip we just built in, which means it is
delicious.
actually lethal on the half now, right?
I would believe so. Well, Todoroki is turned sideways, so we did cancel.
So it's 5. It's 5 damage, 7 from overhaul, 8 from tight lipped. You half block, take 4, and your stadium kills you.
That's hilarious.
No way.
And
No
her holder
way.
just pops up. Ha, ha.
No way.
You guys
Carson
made
is
fun
a
of me every time I died in my own sports festival.
dude. No way. Carson's about. We don't have the low block, do we? We haven't gained a new one at some point, have we? Rescue ready too?
Was there maybe there was a tape or a wall cling we missed?
I don't think he flipped a tape or a walking at some point because those face
What's
downs.
the foundation under basic training? Is it?
I don't know, but I think our 3 face downs there. I think it's another basic training. Yeah, it is. I believe
Yeah.
our 3 face downs are the 2 stalking air prey we flipped this turn and the tape from ages
Yeah,
ago, right?
That's a frozen and ice gliding and a high block.
Oh my god, it's 5 damage.
Surviving.
Flip with tight lipped, make it 6. Overhaul, make it 7, 8.
We don't
You
have to flip with tight lip, right? We just have to flip with overhaul.
No, we have to make it 8.
No, because 7.
Oh,
on the
you're
half
right.
is
You're
4,
right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. Epic Kirishima 2 moment.
Mhm.
Yeah. We don't even have to
Epic
tight lipped
Kirishima
actually. 7
cheating.
is good as long as you're taking 4 on the half. That's all I care about.
What a line.
Dude, no way. This is nuts. Okay, this is nuts. We're blocking. Is there a tape enhance we missed somewhere? Is there a wall cling enhance we missed somewhere? Are we?
Oh, he pointed at
He pointed to his stadium. He knows he's.
festival.
He knows he's half blocking. Make him
Waiting
make
for
the
overhaul.
moves. Respond overhaul.
a handshake
Dude,
for
I'm
game
losing my
one.
mind. Oh my god. Oh my god. We joked about it. We joked about it, Sam. But the heal 2 from Manifest almost saved
did
us.
it. Yeah.
Almost saved us.
And it would have, if not for our own sports festival stadium.
Our own sports festival stadium. Carson's deck is so strong. The only thing it can die to
Is
is
itself.
itself. The only thing it can die to is itself.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, I can't believe this right now.
He's the only person who could potentially win all 3 games in grand finals now.
Wow,
Or at least
dude.
this deck,
Holy
right?
cow, man. What a beast. What a total beast of a play. Insane. He did every step of that math 2 ages before we did.
Right.
Ages before we did. He
I'm
knew
telling
this was going to
you,
be lethal no matter
if
what.
you want to be good at this game, the truth is you just have to be psychic.
You do actually.
You either have to be.
That's actually correct. Yeah,
you either have to be a time traveler or you have to be psychic. You have to have premonitions. You got to be that so Raven trying to figure out what my opponent's going to be doing.
Oh my god, man!
Like
Man.
every time I watch these high level games and grand finals, I'm just like, how did he know?
Yeah.
How did he know? And then people are making really smart, high percentage plays, and it's just wrong. It's just the wrong play to make.
Sometimes
so
you
much
have
of the
to
time.
say, what is the thing? What is the one thing I most likely lose to here? I will play around that. And, whether that's psychic, whether that's understanding your outs, whether that's understanding your rivals' outs and their win conditions, your own lose conditions. Honestly, when you really boil down to it, all those things are exactly the same under different circumstances. And as long as you're playing into them, then you've got it all figured out. Are we gonna see the infamous Toru one from the board? Or not even from the board, from the main deck here.
Really quick, can we just talk about there? I'm gonna have to watch this back at some point because our rival was at 5, right? We had a 4 damage move and our sports festival.
We had a
and we
9
couldn't
million
fail it.
damage move.
Yeah, and also the Todoroki. I get it. You can pump anything.
He had 2 things in his pool and 1 ready foundation, right?
Like, what are we
5-speed
afraid
move.
of?
Yeah, I don't
Make
think
him have it.
I don't think anything was blockable there under any circumstances.
And even if it is, right, it's got to be a complete block. It's got to be a good block mod. You do have to check well. There's all these little domino effects, and we've seen all day how, yes, you are taking some risk, but that's the game.
Man.
That is universes in a nutshell. It is a push your luck game where you are trying to harness your own RNG because guess what? All those 3 checks that you hate checking, you put them in the deck. It's your fault.
You put him in the deck, goofball.
You can do what Carson Panos did and have 80 cards that check a 5.
True. Or you could just play maximum overhaul on a 10 and wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
Man, oh my god, that was crazy. That was crazy. I cannot believe he saw that line.
I think it was pieced together as we went, right? That's
he knew his
what's so
hand.
cool.
He knew his hand, right? He knew that you've got no low block now. Best you can do is half this. If I get it to 10, it's over. I'm not going to get the 3 from my own pickup because you're going to be smart and cancel that. But then if I go beep, 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 I just got to get it to 7, actually. And then we're going to rock and roll, and you're going to get taken down by your own freaking terrain, man.
Yeah.
So ludicrous. Wow.
I mean, it's one of those things where the beauty, I think, of Overhaul in a lot of these decks that have so many moving parts and building foundations and things like that is, we saw he had the potential to move a card from every zone in the game, right? He
Every
can move
single
cards
one.
from the discard, from his stage, from his momentum, from his card pool, all back to his hand, all to his stage, right? And so the beauty of this deck is you can kind of start wheeling and dealing with just a little bit and eventually draw the cards off the future charge, add the cards with the passing, the torches, which again I've been kind of critiquing it this whole time, right? Where I'm
Really?
like, be more aggressive with those passing the torches. That's what won us the game.
Yeah. He said if I find a second maximum overhaul, I'm golden.
Right.
Even if I check a 3 on it, I don't need these ready resources to make sure that it gets through. The speed is irrelevant. All that matters is I get to jam a 5 damage move that you have to half block, and I can put 2 damage on. All for everything that happened to that game, it came down to that very simple math, and it's because we were able to play in every territory. You said it best, Sam. There's not a zone Overhaul doesn't touch. There's not a single zone he doesn't touch.
He can reconstruct anything
into
anywhere, anytime, even from the future.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Believe
he is the master of all resources.
I believe Jorge Zhang is a time traveler who came back in time to save us from an apocalyptic event of a 100-card Todoroki winning this event.
Wow, you think that would be an apocalyptic event?
I think the world would end.
You think so? You think so? If a 113-card water deck won our North American Nationals,
Is it 113? Jeez, I've been saying it's 100 this whole time.
I think it's 112. I think it's 112 actually, because I'm counting the character.
I was gonna say, well, that's old head in the math. You
Ooh,
gotta count the
true.
character.
I'm an old head now, guys. They actually converted me. I watched like half a retro game yesterday. Changed my life, man.
Man. All right, we're going into game 2. And so you know what's really important about that? Overhaul managed to break serve.
He did.
He managed to win game 1 going second, which means even if we lose here, we will have the opportunity to go first in game 3. And I believe Overhaul has way more potential to turn to Todoroki than vice versa, right?
Yes.
Not just the characters, but how the decks are built.
The Shoto deck, it's going to be really, 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 really hard. to turn to with this Shoto deck. Whereas Overhaul builds 5, goes first, builds 5, draws 3 tongue whips, lights out, wrap it up. That's the finals. That's the whole thing right then and there. But we got to see what happens in this game too first.
Ooh, that's some grip. Now, one thing.
Some grip, Sam Tate 2023. Ooh, that's some grip.
Overall, where's the grippy socks? What can I say?
Oh, he knows. Tongue whip on a 4. It's all you need.
One thing I want to point out that's really cool is Overhaul did build a face shield on turn 1, and you really get to do that because you can flip it and block with it at basically any time, right? You can flip it now and then block with it later.
That's like one of the OG things before we had really like figured out Overhaul and figured out the decks and all that jazz. One of the coolest things that Andrew Holt would tell me back in the day is I like to play one tight lip because it lets me on demand block with any face up in my stage. And I'm like, that's really funny. And I think that's like one of the scariest things about this Overhaul deck is it's tons and tons of little interactions like that, tons and tons of incremental value. You know, a convenient block here, an omni block there, an evade and copy down there, a couple tongue whip strings put together. You know, a draw here, a build from hand here, a random maximum Overhaul for 8 million damage. It's just so many things come together to make this
deck
so
has
potent.
upgraded from a toolbox to a tool shed.
Literally, it's the entire tool shed.
It's the entire
the whole
hardware store.
It's the whole auto zone, Sam.
Yeah,
it's the entire auto zone, dude.
Oh my goodness! So we do see the Breaker 2 come out to punish the
no
reheating
fear, George, no fear.
Future charge.
Send it.
Depending on the amount of cards in hand, right? We have to go through the struggling with studies and things like that. But you know, there is a world where you just say, "Look, I don't want to play another super long game. I don't want to be here all night." The people are cleaning up the convention. They were the only ones left, which is classic.
They've been cleaning up for a real long time.
Yeah, so,
I was over there gunslinging, man, and you yanked me over here to watch the freaking finals of a lifetime, dude. Yeah, George was like, "Oh, Breaker 2, I don't want to mess with any of that nonsense right now. Gonna give me a real nice, safe build in and go from there. Tell you, hey, you know, you got to challenge me again because I think these guys are pretty even on stages right now, but I think George is a much healthier stage.
Absolutely.
Stuff like struggling with studies goes a long way, but he's got the pieces he needs as Overhaul to function. He's got the tight lip to block with anything. He's got the wall cling to make sure he's safe from the throws and whatnot. He can loop that forever. He's got his passing the torch.
We didn't flip the face shield though. Overhaul can respond even if you're not gonna deal damage.
Correct.
And so without flipping, speaking of face shield,
there's no reason to waste it though. If he
what do you mean?
If he sends in a throw at me, I'll just wall cling it, and then if he sends in another one, I'll just tight lip my face shield and block.
Do we have a tight lip?
Yeah, we have a tight lip.
We have a tight lip. Then it doesn't matter unless you
pretty epic.
Imagine Target committing a tight lip on your own turn to win a game though. How sick would that play be? It's like no, you can't actually flip your face shield.
Oh my god,
the super meta play.
Oh man, I mean it's little stuff like that you have to be aware of.
Add me on Facebook, bro.
It's little stuff like that you have to be aware of, Sam. Itty bitty little things like that are what you have to think about when it comes to figuring out if you can actually execute a kill turn or not.
My goodness, this is wild.
Very wide stages, very early all over again. This is a 7-hander that's down to play very defensively, and a 6-hander that builds out the wazoo in a deck that builds out the wazoo. These guys are just playing very safe efficiency packages, and it's going to be a while before we see anything get violent. I don't think either of these guys are really going to go in until they feel like they can do something serious, and I think that was the big reason why Game 1 didn't feel like it was like in Infinite Grey War Purgatory Land, is these guys socked the life out of each other real early.
Right.
Not in a kill sense, but we saw 14 damage right off the bat and then 8 damage right off the bat. Very relevant numbers to their hand size characters.
Right. It was 12 to 14 for a really long time, and then it was like 6 to 5 for a really long time. And that's what I really like. The pacing has been great. The back and forth has been great. The interaction has been great. A lot of people used to kind of cheekily say early on in set 1 when we would hit like 10 foundations and even above that, they would say, oh, we're playing real universes now. But
real UFS right now.
Yeah, I really genuinely feel like this is the back and forth that I've been aching to see. As much as it's cool to watch Tokoyami versus Eraserhead play double twisting Azure Inferno and just drop 6 orange cards on the table and handshake it, like this is where we go, wow, what a play. Wow, we're using this card. Oh, we have an answer for this. Oh, we have an answer for that. Oh, we can, like, there's so many permutations. This is where navigating the board, it shows why these guys made it to grand finals, I believe. It's not because they just drew a bunch of really good cards and checked really well. They were able to identify the lines, point at the all-out battle, right, and then say, okay, low is my zone now, even if you draw a random card, and rebuilding speed pumps and resource. It's everything. It's everything these decks can do, and making sure you're utilizing every resource to its maximum.
Yeah, just so many little things going on here and there between both players across these turns. One of my favorite things, Sam, about to continue talking about the pacing of this game is that it doesn't necessarily feel like when you watch like Earth Overhaul or something with a much lower damage ceiling,
Right.
fighting against like a racer who has never killed a man in his life, right? we're looking at this Shoto deck that can actually pump out the numbers surprisingly randomly, has a lot of potent attacks like Tongue Whip in it, has the alt win con of these really big damage.
Yes, we're drawing cards aggressively.
Oh, I love it. Whereas, like, and then you see George playing the Life Overhaul build, featuring the Tongue Whips, featuring the 4X Maximum Overhaul. This guy is really good at killing people with this deck. He's not here to play the life symbol and block a million times for all of eternity. He is actually here to mess you up. He is here to play max Overhaul on no progressive all day, every day.
He punched his ticket to grand finals 2 rounds in a row by winning game 3 on turn 2.
Nuts.
So the deck can absolutely do it. Now, he did have to go first in those game 3s, right? But that's what he has the privilege to do because he managed to break serve. So in game 3, he can go first, which he hasn't gotten to do yet, and yet he's still hanging in there going second. So the life symbol has been one of the best decks at going, or one of the best symbols at going second, even after the Ready Get Set Go ban. And we're really seeing why this card advantage, these defensive abilities, the ability to build and ramp, on the rival turn is so strong.
I think we've spent a long time playing so many other things, Sam, that we've forgotten that water decks are really hard to kill. They're really hard to kill. They're sometimes hard to kill with, but they're tough nuts to crack.
The difficulty of building a water deck every time I talk to people is, well, how do you fit all the 3 diffs? How are you going to fit all the 2 diffs? They're so good. How do you navigate all the 4 checks? Which ones are you going to pick? What package are you going to go with? And this whole time we've been talking about it, Carson Panos just said, I'm playing them all.
All of them. Every single one, man. He's got 4 sticky balls in the main with rescue completed, and he doesn't have a care in the world about it.
Right.
He's
I don't have to pick between which cards are the best. I'm playing 4 graceful maneuver base.
When it comes to deck building, Carson's just made of sterner stuff. There's not really any other way to put it,
I've said that the water has some of the best cards overall, especially generically applicably useful ones, for a super long time. It's just they don't constantly reference each other and bounce off each other, and because of that, they don't necessarily have those weaker interactions, right? It's like the repeated decks. We see the Faith Shield flip something, and now all of a sudden we ready one less foundation. We don't get to pick it up with Trace Sheik, etc., etc. Water decks don't really have that problem, but they don't have that bonus either. They play slightly more fair cards that are just really powerful, but they're powerful on their own.
Yeah. They're powerful on their own in vacuums, right? Whereas like Overhaul, this deck is just very good at making anything threatening, right? Like I'm staring at Maximum Overhaul on the screen, and the only thought that ever runs in my mind is this move's just always for 10. It's just always for 10. Like, to Overhaul being this 6 hand size, defensive, building, ramping, resource, blocking god amongst men, but also just flat out being a 6 hand size character that puts 2 damage in all of his moves. That's more than considered 6 hand size aggro in this format. And then he gets to do defense, and he gets to do defense like 7 handers wish they could, and he gets to do resource ramping like 5 handers wish they could.
Right.
He's got
like
every
5-handers
every
got
world
added for doing.
Literally, he's got every world inside of his hands.
Yeah. This deck reminds me very much of if you wanted to take Kirishima and add the life symbol to it.
Literally.
If you wanted to take Kirishima and Momo and they had a child, it's this Overhaul character.
Absolutely, you couldn't have put it better. It's got those heavy Kirishima 1 vibes, but then with the insane stability and resource management of the life symbol, all the card draw, all of the blocking power, all of the speed reduction, all of the extra foundation building, the ramping. It's just green when it comes to playing life. But let's worry a little less about George's defense and his blocking power and all that nonsense, because he's getting very, very aggressive here, and I have to start thinking about what are his intentions this turn.
Right. I also want to point out that in that game 1, it is the first time I have watched a Carson Panos match, today at least, and he didn't have the right block zone.
Whoa.
Literally, it's the first time. he will block with every single card in his hand, and they will all be complete blocks. And the Yomi is just on another level.
That is literally what it came down to. And it didn't happen naturally. Right? He was ready for every zone. It was just the double heroic assistance came in and took us out, right? I guess right. We didn't rebuild it.
We didn't do it again. That's the wildest part.
But it did take that very, very powerful Deadlock Enhance coming in at the very, very beginning of the turn to get our block zones tripped up like that.
Ooh, Carson's hand is a little angy.
It's a little angy.
And now...
Yeah, you got that manifest, though.
Traditionally, this would be the kind of thing where you go, oh, these attacks in my hand are just a little too good to risk blocking with. But, I mean, it's worked out for Carson all day to just sell out to take no damage. And eventually my opponent will give me the opening. So I think we're going to block this Tongue Whip. And there it goes.
Well. I mean... Our rival has tongue whipped on a 7 and still hasn't used Overhaul Enhance, right? So he's obviously got something up his sleeve here.
Are you saying he's cooking?
I mean, he might be. Maximum Overhaul on a 5 seems pretty straightforward here, but I think Carson's down for that, right? Maximum Overhaul on a 5. I'll cancel the Enhance to save 3 damage. Then I'll take 8 after a tight lipped and Overhaul flip. That's okay. I'm at 12 now and I'm chilling. I'm chilling after that. Now, don't show me another one. Then I might have to think about my life.
Yeah. It looks like we're checking for a face down to play, ignoring progressive.
I think that's correct. I do believe we've declared the Overhaul button. Show me the max, bro. Show me the maxi.
Oh,
there's the maxi. There's the maxi. Gonna get our rival's character committed out here, and then if this if this lands on the face here, it's 5 damage, 7 with Overhaul, 8 if we tight-lipped it up. I mean, obviously, if I'm George, I want to take the whole game down right here. But 8 damage, and then we'll kill later. That's how we won game 1. That's how we got game 1 in the bag, Sam.
No, I think he's just going to graceful maneuvers in full block.
Yeah, he has a graceful on board?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see his specific
foundations. Yeah, the top part of the stage has just been absolutely blasted by the sun.
It's like the perfect L of his 3 foundations right here.
Yeah.
Literally, his 3 ready foundations cannot see a single lick.
We just got to get a judge stand there with a jacket open, kind of shade the
just move with it, right?
Yeah, totally not distracting at all.
Oh, not at all. I think there's a desperate times on the board. It looks like we're getting a flip coming in here. No idea what's getting flipped. I can only imagine it's what, a tape?
Tape or a wall cling is my best guess.
Tape or a wall
I thought
cling?
we had, did we ever use a struggling? Did we already flip our struggling?
Well, we just flipped something, but didn't pick up a card. So that
Right.
definitely was not a struggling flip there.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that we flipped a wall cling or a tape.
It's got to be a wall cling or a tape, which says we intend to full block this. I guess if it stays at 4 speed, if we cancel the enhance, that's possible.
We did cancel a maximum overhaul enhance. I don't know which one yet, though. We pointed at maximum overhaul. We milled 3 with Todoroki, committed, canceled. And I assume we're going to see a build-in in a second here, but I could be wrong.
You got to. There's
Imagine
no way,
it's a world where you have to cancel the build-in ready rather than the pickup 3 to stay alive. That's the kind of game we play.
I mean, that would just be going right back to that psychic thing you talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Where if we just go, the build from hand doesn't kill me, but the pickup 3 doesn't kill me, but there are things he could build from hand that do kill me, so let's cancel the build from hand.
Right, that's it's so wild how many games I've seen where someone does exactly that. It blows my mind.
I mean, sometimes our players are, like you said, right? They're just psychic, man. They're just psychic. Oh my God, nuts! On an 8, 5, 6, 7. Am I bad at math? We speed reduced at some point. Evidently. Wow. And still not a single point of damage. Did not get that free 8 damage that we were looking for there, but we did get a pair of attacks out of Carson's hand, which, when you're fighting the really slow defensive deck, there are rarely turns where you can ask for much more. There's no way about playing anything, right?
We have
After Breaker 2,
5 cards in our card
5 in our pool with Breaker 2.
We can't ignore progressive anymore.
It can't happen. We got our 1. We got our 1.
We should. Do you think that we'll ever have time rules and top cuts where it's like sudden death, first damage wins?
Man, I don't know about sudden death. I think sudden death would be a little crazy. I think I'd rather see us maybe play still untimed top cuts, but best of 1 maybe. If you somehow figure out how to spend 3 hours decking me out, I mean you're either playing the Carson Panos 100 card special,
Right.
or some judges aren't doing their job. Ooh, Ice Wall
I
feels
know.
pretty
I
good
know
here.
one other person who agrees that finals should be best of one right now.
Ooh, I personally know a few. It's a pretty
Yeah.
hot topic right now.
I
Obviously,
know George Zhang would agree with you at this exact moment.
I think he would absolutely concur with you, Sam. Take the money and run. I mean, obviously, the more game we get to watch, the better. But as we enter, what our seventh, eighth, 12-hour top cut day of this competitive season, of this competitive year, those are obviously conversations to have for future events. But I'm sure that the fine folks over at UVS Games are going to figure out what the most optimal things are to do. Not
Mm-hmm.
my rodeo by any means whatsoever. I'm here to sit here and
Above my
talk
pay grade.
above my pay grade, man. I'm here to do nothing but sit here with my good friend Sam Tate and talk about all of the insane action that we're watching throughout this finals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for the crazy over the top. You never would have thought it worked, but it sure did. Plays.
I mean, that's how last game felt. That's how last
Mm-hmm.
game felt. As that maxi came down, I was like, ooh, blah, plus two, plus the one, carry the four, divide by 12, Sports Festival Stadium. Ooh, yeah.
Sports Festival Stadium.
And
I
that's the
still
game.
can't believe it.
You can
Imagine.
cancel every enhance in the game, but you cannot cancel the static ability on your Sports Festival Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
Shoto Todoroki one.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
God, can you imagine if Carson turns this around, man? From the game
Another
one loss,
Verso.
already in the most ridiculous David versus Goliath situation ever.
Mm-hmm.
The weight of the world is actually on this guy's hands right now. It was a pretty sad heat wave, but I think as long as we're drawing two cards, that's probably all we're cared about doing on this one. I don't think there's any more gas in the hand besides that ice wall.
And I mean, that has worked for Carson, all throughout this tournament. The ability to just play one card pass, play one
Yep.
card pass, and slowly chip people down who don't want to leave themselves open after trying to block a 6, 7, 8 high for 8, for 9 frigid heat wave.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough spot to be in when it comes to deciding how you're going to handle these pokes. Obviously, in this very 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 attrition based game, no one wants to give either the first blood here, but
Mm.
you really have to respect Carson's discard pile and his aggression once his discard pile gets to a certain point. Because if he starts selling out to block things, he gets to just say, okay, well now here's these other three with +8 damage on them. Let's wrap it up.
Your blood evaluation coming down here with that +2 high block, blocking the frigid heat wave, leaving us deadlocked at 27-20. And sticky balls coming down. That one is difficult to overcome early on in the game, but I think we're a turn or two away from just completely ignoring it as a seven-hander, which is kind of rough. Or
Yeah, I mean, being the life symbol, we obviously don't have a ton of ways to interact very impactfully with our rivals board. Lost in Thought is really all that comes to mind as far as like what sees pretty real play. But let's think about the deadlock game for a little bit. You said deadlocked
we
at
got
20 and
the
27.
deadlock.
That first
Let's
villain encounter
go.
is sitting there ready to mess up someone's day both aggressively and defensively. That now the actual question is, how do we usurp this deadlock game? Obviously, that would be with George playing his own first villain encounter, but that card is not anywhere within our list. And man, if you thought Maximum Overhaul was doing some busted things, you ever gone into deadlock against an overhaul that then snap builds in a first villain encounter on you? Actually
Nope.
tragic. Then he flips it and then he plays another maximum, and then he picks it back up and he snaps it again, and you just go, how did I get here? How did I get here? This is not my beautiful card pool. This is not my beautiful tongue whip.
I never asked for this.
It's a pretty rough spot to be in. There's a lot of really really scary plays that can come from both players here. It looks like we do have a muscle mauler in hand, so
Yeah, what a grip.
I mean
You
we
can
get
flip the first villain.
we get to at least interact with our rivals board more than I was kind of proposing earlier. Target flip 2 is pretty good. It definitely says flip first villain encounter.
It's
And
genuinely crazy to me that first villain encounter is not seen as one of the most disgusting deadlocks, specifically because it is one of the only deadlocks, especially preset 5, that can be used defensively.
yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. As you're attacking me, I'm gonna just stuff 2 of your foundations into your card pool. That's crazy. Yeah, okay, cool. Deadlock enhance, flip, end your rival's turn. Fine. I get it. I get it, bud. It's okay.
It's crazy.
It's okay. We could talk about it. Oh, is this another all gray hand for Carson?
Speaking of talk about it, these two gentlemen are just having a beautiful conversation.
They're saying
They're taking their
everything.
time, strolling through the park, letting the sunny breeze blow through their hair as they just relax and smell the roses.
They're saying everything while saying nothing at the same time. Sam. A
Exactly.
lovely walk across the beach.
It's
in
that
our
beautiful
sea of
stare down where you get to
foundations.
measure your opponent, find out what they're worth. Ooh, there's some attacks.
Yeah, but are they going to crack Carson's wall as he very comfortably builds in his 19th foundation, Sam? That's the true question of the evening. However, when George has, what does it look like to commit here? 4, 7, 10, 13. I mean, definitely not as intimidating a number offensively as 19 is defensively, but the rest of George's deck definitely pulls a whole lot of weight when it comes to putting the hurt on.
Yeah, I think I like this build out here from George. I think we didn't have a potent amount of offense, and all we were really going to do is allow Carson to review more non attacks. And I think the Yomi pass is the good play here.
Especially when he can do something like, fill that, not only review more attacks, right, but you give him something to cancel, you let him fill that discard pile up just a little bit more, you get the damage ramping just a little bit more. Yeah, there's no reason to kind of give him those openings. And
Yeah,
Carson's
if we
gonna,
get some basic training deadlocks and the first
no,
villain counter.
that's what hits different right here.
Yeah.
A few basic trades on the board, and there's one right there. Show me
That'll
a
give
second
us
one,
the
man. Oh, it'd be
speed
legendary.
and the damage on tongue whips that we need
Yep.
to deal 27 in one go.
Yep, and it looks like Carson's gonna be of the same mindset as George is here. Hey, I can't poke into you meaningfully, so I probably should just take this opportunity to flat out build. No reason to let you, draw some cards, build some cards, press a lot of your buttons.
That's
Wow.
a very aggressive build from
Very
George
aggressive
here.
build and some very aggressive checks here. We just lost 2 repeateds, right?
Yeah, we've lost in a tongue whip.
And a tongue whip. 2 repeateds and a tongue whip. Actually,
I think it was a tongue whip.
Nuts. It looks like if we ever want to draw some orange this game, I think we're going to be relying on the cycle as George, which is totally what Carson wants to see, because no matter what happens, we are always winning those cycle/mill/deck out games as our 112 card Shoto deck.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder if Carson Panos was ever milled out on stream before. Because every person I've ever talked to who got milled out on stream says never again. When they start playing 80 card Eraserhead, and it's miserable. They are never going to get milled out by any sort of average deck, but I bet they could get milled out by 113 card Todoroki.
Hey Siri, call Daniel Nelson, because it's very obvious that
It's more
Sam
than
would
him.
like
It's
to have a
more than him.
conversation with him.
It's
Who
not just
else?
him.
Who else got milled out on stream and is playing 80 card Eraserhead now?
Nathan DeWalt got milled out, I thought.
Oh, did he really?
I thought he got milled out on stream exactly
I
one
don't
time.
know. I
I
don't
could
know.
be wrong on that.
The most memorable Nathan DeWalt game in my head is when he blood curdled himself at the HLC as a Eraserhead and lost to Dobby War.
We saw that win a game earlier today. That was cool.
Really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jose pulled it off, but he was wearing the footy pajamas, so he
I
had
mean,
that
he's also playing the build
that
design to
comfy
do that,
mode.
right? The Death
Yeah.
Eraserhead's supposed to do that.
kinda.
You know.
Kinda.
Hey, me no pass back, me die.
Well,
Also, he was Jose, right? He was Jose.
Right.
Jose's allowed to do that.
Hey, one of those guys qualified for the HLC today.
That is not incorrect. One of those qualified doing that play, and the other is getting sent to the last chance qualifiers in Florida.
Yeah. So
Can we
there
just talk about how
is-
insane that event's going to be? We just talk about how like 20 of the best players in the game are going to be fighting for their lives in that event,
I'm
and
gonna win
only 4 of them get to make it to Worlds.
I'm gonna win one and qualify for Worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that is actually the strat.
I mean, if I don't, you're gonna let me cast, right?
I'll write a note. Maybe I can.
You guys are gonna
pencil
fly
in.
me out, and then I'm gonna get to participate in the LCQ. And if I scrub out, then I get to join commentary, right?
Absolutely not. You must make an assessment, Sam Tate. You
What?
must make an assessment.
But I want my cake and to eat it too.
Oh, we know. We know, Sam. We know, Sam.
What is cake for if not eating?
Going right to your thighs. Cake goes right to my thighs. I can't do it. They brought a bunch of donuts here this morning. I said, please no, please no.
Oh,
I
that's
can't do
true.
that.
I did not have one because
I'm working on the summer bod.
I
Sam.
don't. Yeah, I don't need the sugar crash would get me. I had
what I'm
that
saying,
awful
man.
apple coffee this morning.
You had
and,
an
like-
apple coffee?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be like a apple. It's too many words. There's too many words. It was apple and then like 4 other words that came after it. But but it just tasted like coffee. I was so sad. I love apple flavored things.
You were sad that your coffee tasted like coffee.
Yeah.
Now that's the sign of a true coffee drinker. Actually, that's actually what they don't tell you.
Hey, what does alliteration brew taste like?
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you
but
think
only if you're prone to dry eyes, though? It's only for the late risers of the world. Yeah.
Do you think we could talk about coffee through this entire turn and it still end up being 20 to 27?
I think we could talk about. I at least know that I could talk about coffee before. I could talk about coffee after they deck out. This one's going to mill, right? There's just no way it's not.
I honestly believe that at this point, just because
I'd be blown away if it did.
Just because George did put so many cards into his stage, and even if he did like do the double bass drum, release everything away into my discard pile, just all the way down. I don't think it's not enough to have you win the mill race.
No.
It's definitely not enough. Even if Carson never destroys a single foundation, you're not going to win the mill race anyway. And two, even if you start doing it now, it would almost like ruin your consistency after you cycle for drawing attacks. There is like this weird sort of, you don't necessarily want to mill out too fast, so you want to put those cards back in the discard pile. But if you do that when you cycle, your deck consistency will, your likelihood of drawing attacks does theoretically go down. So there is something to be said about curating your deck post-cycle with things like Sugar Rush or by having all these foundations in your stage so you draw all the gas.
I love like Sugar Rushing 10 foundations away and going, hey, in 3 turns, this cycled up deck is juiced.
Yeah.
It's juiced. And I mean, like,
I got 20 cards left, 14 of them are orange.
Our attack cycle consistency is already a problem that we're thinking about as George, because we've checked the majority of our attacks this game already, and I think we're already in a world where we're going to be reliant on what our deck looks like post-cycle to finally draw some orange. But in a world where, I mean, sometimes you just have those games, man, where you just check the grand majority of your attacks, finally cycle, and they all disappear in the top 10 remove as well, and you go, how do I kill you without any of my repeateds and my max overhauls?
I think we need to print a card that says, enhance commit 20 foundations, you win the game. I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
If you go to 20, you deserve to just can it be canceled though?
Just touchdown? Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
Have some interaction.
So it doesn't affect Carson at all. We got to make it a static so it can affect him like a sports festival
Carson
stadium, Lamau.
I want Carson to win.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a card for him, so he can win with this.
Oh, we're in the Panos camp now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, me and Barrett were loving this deck.
Really?
We're gonna pick this up because this is exactly the kind of staring contest I love to have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I truly believe if I can drag you out to waters this deep, I can skill gap you.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm having a good time, Sam.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm kicking back right now, relaxing, feet on the table, talking to one of my best buddies about coffee.
Watching the game I love.
And then sometimes the back alley gets thrown. Right. But that stuff is that stuff is a little negligible.
Yeah.
Now I will say, Carson slammed down an ice wall, stunned dude, and then snap flipped his first villain encounters, deadlock enhance. So he's got to have some kind of a plan to aggress this turn, right?
I was going to mention on the first one, if we played one attack, did all this card pool clog, and then built after, I'd be very upset.
That would be.
I hope so.
Oh, man, that'd be crazy.
Drawing some random cards.
I'm down to draw some random ones here. If he hand taxes me, he hand taxes me, man.
Yeah.
Let's put it in the fate of the tippity top and find the ones that we need to stop Carson's moves in his tracks. You said Carson's had the full block every single time.
He's had
the
perfect blocks except one time.
Except one time, man. Wow.
To deal damage to Carson, he either had to check so poorly that he committed literally everything, or he had to have no cards in hand, and both of those things probably had to be true.
Yeah, I don't think any of those. I mean, they truly just don't get us anywhere. They truly just don't get us anywhere, and that's it. That's George's puzzle to figure out right now. Because Carson's chilling. He's got over 100 cards inside of his deck. He's never losing this deck out game in any circumstances whatsoever.
We're gonna say that so much that it's gonna look really dumb when he manages to mill out before George somehow.
Oh, that would be so funny.
If you just do all your heat waves over and over, your Todorokis, and somehow catch up. to the deck that has 40 less cards.
I mean, it was already pretty funny when we said that game one was just for sure going to deck out, and then George was like,
And
"Yeah,
then
but what
George
if I?
was-
Yeah, but maximum overhaul on a 10, bro."
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Maximum Overhaul?
Yeah, literally coming in from the heavens above. First coming in from the depths of hell below inside the stage, and then coming in from the hand from the heavens above to actually finish out the game.
Is it Manifest?
Uh,
That's Manifest.
to give our next one stun 2 now.
That's or
Oh,
whatever
this
we
is
want to use it
goofy.
for. But
Sure,
yeah,
sure. There's obviously some plan with this momentum.
God, this deck really has everything.
It really
You
does.
can't play a card that surprises me anymore.
I'm on
I mean,
the
we
other.
saw him
I'm
block
on the
with
other
the
side of the
Manifest,
fence, Sam. Every card he plays surprises me, except for Tongue Whip. I do know that one. I'm not that rusty.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely know me some Tongue Whip, man.
Oh man, you know what's great? Chat just pointed out that George is actually going to win the diversity prizing for the most represented character.
Wow, wow. Can you imagine winning the diversity prizing and the first place nationals prizing at the same time? Oh, I'd lose it.
Well, and then Carson probably locked that up like, I don't know, at round 1.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I have to know. I'm going to have to dig through the list now and see if anyone else signed up Todoroki 1 at all.
I'd be so
You know.
surprised. There was a Todoroki too.
There's some fans, yeah, but they usually play Todoroki too, right? There's some Todoroki cosplayers that were here, right?
We did. I did.
Did they have like the stealth suit or something? They had a
Yeah,
weird
the
suit
World
on.
Heroes mission suit. I actually had a nice photo shoot with one of them because I of course
Ooh.
had my Hawks
Hawks
garb
going,
on.
yeah.
And I had Willie T as Endeavor. We took a lot of very funny pictures. One of them is like Shoto turned to us, looking very disapproving, and then just
Nice.
Will as Endeavor like pretending to sob, and I'm wiping his tears away. Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
good. That's pretty good.
The caption, Shoto won't text me back. Oh my god.
Partialing with a +4 block.
No way. No way, right?
This is the world we're living in. And he's going to pass it like it's nothing.
That's crazy.
The power of releasing a dream.
You know, that is the power of releasing a dream. Oh, but a cheerful
Ooh.
is coming in very, very, very hot here.
Cheerful
Dude,
supper cut.
Carson's got to have a ridiculous grip in his hand right now.
Yeah.
The first villain encounter enhance was so aggressive. The manifest enhance was so aggressive. This is really, really, really posturing that I have some kind of a trick up my sleeve.
I mean, my hot take is we're actually going to deal damage at some point this turn.
Oh, that's a very, very hot
It's
take.
a pretty hot take.
That's a very, very, very
I think it's
hot
going to
take.
take 2 more attacks to
Much
even have a
unlike
chance.
all the iced coffee that I've been drinking today, Sam. How about that venti iced cafe? Jokes aside, Sam, though, I have to ask you right here, right now, do you think you can talk about coffee by yourself for 3 minutes? I'm out of practice. I have
Oh
to go
my
to the
goodness.
restroom, Sam.
All right, yeah, I'm
gonna
a
be in
professional. I'm a
shambles,
professional.
and you'll have to figure out how to catch me up.
He's actually going to sign autographs, chat.
That's pretty smart.
He's actually got people asking for autographs. He's got his adoring fans who were getting kicked out of the venue. So he's going to go sign a couple of Hawks Chromes that got shown off. All right. I mean, we're sitting here. We're fighting over this 5 low for 4. Typically, it's just a defensive card. And especially, you know, we're putting down the damage. We are putting the damage onto this uppercut, banking on the fact that 5 speed plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in the card pool is actually going to let us deal some damage here. But, I mean, with what, triple release going? Do we have all 4? We have all 4 release out. We actually have all 4 release. That should be its own win condition. That should be its own win condition, shouldn't it? If you get all 4 copies of release out, your opponent should just be obliged to concede because realistically, they are never touching you unless you feel like it. I mean, this is actually you just get to obliterate your own stage, right? Obliterate your own stage to say like, wow, we get the defensive heroic assistance out, double half hot ignition and a tongue whip. This is the angriest hand I've ever seen Carson Panos have. I stand by my hot take. I think we're doing some damage this turn, but you know, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know if we can win the game here, but I definitely think we're going to get some damage in. But that tongue whip is going to be absolutely massive. It's going to be huge. So I definitely think that Carson has some reason to push down and get some damage in, but this could be the only time where Carson ever overextends. We did get the heroic assistance to reveal half hot ignition, and a tongue whip, and I think one more attack. It was pretty quick. It was pretty quick that they went through it.
I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to come back and them just be like shuffling up into game 3, and they just played the fastest 3 tongue whips that anyone has ever played.
Well, no, see, unfortunately, it's never going to be possible because if you look at George's stage, he has all 4 copies of release.
Oh my god!
Which I think realistically, if your rival builds all 4 copies of release, you should scoop out of respect.
Oh, that's true.
Unless you built them with back alleys, in which case you're a cheat.
So you see, when you build all 4 copies of release, they actually if you
release you from prison.
So if you shift them into like a square with all 4 of them, right? You make 4 points. The connecting hands of Ochako actually all link up instead, and she performs domain expansion. And then at that point in time, your maximum overhaul techniques are guaranteed to hit, and then you just can't block anymore.
Yeah, domain release.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive. I've never seen it happen, though. I think George is just too afraid to do it right now. He's not sure what the implications on the venue would be. There's a lot of collateral damage to consider. We still have some civilians left in the building.
Yeah. So, Carson, I wish I knew exactly how much damage this Todoroki ability was doing, because we were joking earlier, like, well, you have 30 attacks, you can give 15, nearly plus 15 damage to everything you play at some point. But the heroic assistant changed the uppercut to a high. It was, I think, 8 speed, but we had quadruple release, so we checked a 13 we checked a 13 blocking on a 12.
Stop, dude. I can't do this, man. What's 8 speed to plus 8 to my check? Ooh, this is getting a little churlish. I'm not afraid for Carson, but we're for sure trying to push really hard to get in some more damage. What's our Shoto damage counter at right now, Sam? Do we know?
I have no clue. That's the one thing I wish I could ask a judge, because it looks like it's a die there, right?
It looks like it's on 12.
No shot.
Well, I think
24 ranged attacks?
Counting the ranged attacks and not the damage.
Well,
there's only 30 attacks in our deck.
No, because the uppercut had like 3 die worth of damage. It was at like plus 12 at least.
Did he pitch a momentum?
I believe so. He had a momentum
from the manifest, right? So so it would have been 8 plus 6, right? So 14, and it's base 5. So he would have needed 2 die. Yeah, it's 5 speed. You're right. It's a 5 low for 4 base.
Yeah. So he had like 3 dies worth of damage next to it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nuts. There's maybe we put some basic trainings on it as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in the card pool.
This is
maybe 8.
Nuts. This is really crazy. Yeah, I mean, if he can he make, the question is, so I think he's counting the amount of attacks in the discard pile, meaning that we have 6 damage from Shoto if there's 12 ranged.
Wait, did we take half from that uppercut? Did we tape it back to mid after the heroic aspiration or assistance? I think we taped it back to mid and we took half.
I don't think that's how that. Yeah, I think we. Man, that was a crazy heads up play. If so, what a time to not have player audio. Insane.
I've always wanted to win by taping my own attack. I think that's hilarious.
Okay, so hang on. This tongue whip, you said 7 in pool, right? So this tongue whip should be 11 damage. Shoto makes it 17. Just gotta find one more.
Is that
true?
If that is 12 ranged attacks being counted and not plus 12 damage.
That's true. That's true. But there's no way we have 24 attacks in the discard pile. It's only 30 in the deck. That'd be insane.
I don't know, but we got our first cycle, so the mill condition is officially being activated.
This is so funny.
Yeah. Man, we cycled so fast. I thought we didn't cycle for a second, but I'm pretty sure he actually did and removed them.
He cycled very fast. Very fast. Oh my god.
It's like he's been here before.
This is the funniest thing in the world, Sam. The fact that we have 2 dice for our check from our release on our top of our deck.
No, the 4th release. We're vulnerable.
Uh-oh.
What are we supposed to do now?
Oh, so it looks like George might be a little inexperienced with the quadruple release technique, and we only released Ochako's hands into an innate domain, so we're still a little vulnerable to some of our rivals' tongue whip style of techniques.
We needed that plus 8.
We did. We need that plus 8.
God,
oh my god! Stop, dude! Stop, bro! I can't handle this.
He has double the dice to add.
We've checked.
check.
I mean, committed that was 11 pool.
Just
Slam ball. Now,
that's for
I mean, is the
ignoring.
I was gone for a bit.
Yeah,
but
there's so much happening. Bro.
Unless
This
the
isn't my
block,
fault.
unless the block from no, sorry, I wasn't blaming you. I wasn't blaming you in the slightest. I'm saying that I didn't see a block from stage. So if you didn't see it in the small window I was gone,
Yeah.
I don't think that it's happened yet. He's got 2 dice on his character though. He's got 2 dice on his character, which means that he's blocked from stage though, right? We built from him
Is
a block
it?
from stage,
Okay.
1 dice, 1 dice. I'm pretty sure those
Yeah,
are the
that's probably
margins
what that
he's
means.
keeping track of. So I do think that
They're so small and they're like colored weird. I did
I
not
think
notice that.
the Trey Sheik was a half block from stage. Is that true?
I
don't know.
It was definitely
There
a
are
full
there
block.
are 9 cards in our card pool.
He definitely did
I'm
not
sorry,
take
8 cards,
damage.
8 cards in our card pool, and very few of those were actually blocks.
Yeah, we definitely did not take damage when we blocked with the Trey Sheik. The first time we took damage was on that uppercut. That was the first damage that was dealt, and it was blocked by a high.
How
So I have no
ludicrous.
clue what's going on.
How ludicrous. There's also still a Frozen sitting on the board as well, as well as an Ice Gliding.
We have-
we have the double basic training as well, so these deadlocks are going crazy. Are we canceling a release?
If we
with Shoto?
cancel a release, that's the most goated play of the tournament.
I mean, if it makes the math check out, it makes
It
the
has
math
to,
check
right?
out. It absolutely has to.
So at this point, you have to like use rescue completed and then blow it up to have any kind of like potential.
Yeah. Here's the other releases coming in here. Rescue sure does have a couple face downs that it could ready up. I mean, it just depends on how exactly the points of the math here is. There's
No, don't blow up the release. He had quadruple. If you lose with quadruple release on board, like, oh man.
If you lose a quadruple release on board, I just don't know what to tell you. Rescue for a little bit of a -2 action. I mean, this is for sure the last thing we block if there's anywhere where we can block
And then
this.
half hot ignition, can that get to lethal? We had like 2 half
No.
hot.
We have to play it on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 3 things to commit.
He had his own tongue whip to block the tongue.
Oh
whip.
my
Jeez.
god. So what is on a
What
4,
can-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15
With plus 4?
8 to the check, 6 to the check? Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
the
my
cancel
God.
on the release.
I think
The
I think it was
cancel on
exact.
the
I think it was
release got
exact.
there.
I think it was exact.
If you checked a 6 and he passed that, like, that would be the absolute most
I have to
insane.
imagine that he was 1 shy.
All right, Levi. This is time. Chat, we need your help. We need to manifest this into existence.
For
we
release?
need to Overhaul's going to go first. As much as I love this Wire Todoroki deck, they are actually literally tearing down the banners around us trying to get out
They
of
are
this convention
literally
center.
we
I don't know if you guys can hear the pipes banging and the tables being dragged, but they're actually stripping down our set around us. And we need Overhaul to build 5 going first turn 1, maybe 6 with new training method. You know, let's get spicy,
Ship
and then
it.
just rip 5 attacks and ignore progressive and turn 2 him after all that. After all that beautiful real universes, we need someone to just go repeated on turn 2 and end this thing.
Listen, all I can say is that in the event these guys go under the 3 hours,
This is truly peak universe.
I have
If anyone
only-
doesn't like this, they are feeble-minded.
I have only paid my casters to work up.
Oh, we're getting paid hourly?
I have
Nice,
only
nice.
paid
Go
my
Carson,
casters
go
to
Carson.
work up to Sunday. If this crosses into Monday, I am losing Sam Tate, and then you guys are actually just gonna have to listen to me talk about coffee. That's
No. I get
actually the
per
world we
diemed
live
on
in.
Monday. I'll stay.
Ooh, hey, cooperation offer.
Hey,
Cooperation
all right.
offer.
I can shake on that.
Oh my goodness!
I just
man.
need like the handshake meme, but it's both these decks tongue whip handshaking, like it's the two
chivalrous,
tongues
chivalrous
together.
commentator.
Yeah.
Chivalrous commentator, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, George has a really good window here. here, though, right? As
Yeah.
you said, if he can get a good build in, find the right moves on turn 2, maybe kind of catch Carson before he really gets those dukes up, right? Before we hit those 30 foundation stages, before Carson really digs into the game state and takes control of it. As much as like Overhaul like maintains control like resource wise across everything. If Shoto gets the right defenses up, it's just going to be very hard for George to ever find that chink in the armor. So we have to do it beforehand. Oh my God,
Yeah.
George with the one card cut. He said, "I'm not cutting that
I love
113 card deck.
I love
I'll just put
that.
that one on the bottom."
I'm a 1-card cutter myself,
Yeah.
actually.
This is
Yeah.
the manners.
So-
I can literally see him even through the mask. I can see him going. I'm not cutting that thing. Ooh. Oh, it looks like a guaranteed
Iffy.
4. I'm guaranteed 4. And
That
then
was 3, but yeah.
I think he has 2210.
Man, it's tough with all the foils and the glare here. It gets really tough.
I think
to
he
tell.
has 2210.
Oh,
one
well,
of them is
that's a good
passing,
one.
and then he has back alley future charge to sit on, which is
Okay,
amazing.
which is sick. And then if we draw repeated, that's nuts.
Oh yeah.
Nuts. Yeah, you're right. Guaranteed 4. I love this. And
Yep.
then
And we have a
if
0 to build with back alley now as well.
Right,
We can go
and
crazy.
Overhaul can build one. We can go up to 6. What I say, build 6 and then play a bunch of
I mean,
punches. Hell
basically,
yeah.
right? Essentially.
Bunches
That's
of punches. That's a
bunches
deck
of
archetype.
Punches. George is like, I'm very happy with my build. I'm going to sit back and relax now. And Carson's like, oh, hang on. Let me shuffle the other third of my deck, the last
Man,
third of my deck.
It's a shame we're not going to have time to do interviews because I want to ask Carson why 113 cards, and I want him to say it's the most cards I could shuffle at once.
That might actually be the reason.
He would play more if he could shuffle more.
I definitely cap my decks around like 68 max because my hands cannot hold much past that. I'm a small little man with small little man hands.
So that's why you keep telling me you won't play Commander.
Yeah, I could never. I'm just not strong enough. They even put Transformers cards in that thing, man, and I still can't do it. I still just don't have the Willie T style Endeavor meat grips to do it, man. She's a stronger man than I am.
Yeah, but so just to point out, right, we did kind of start the finals a bit late. Yeah, and despite like these games dragging on in turn count and in like foundation count, these guys are playing faster than most aggro decks, right?
I think once we
It balances out,
I think
of
once we
course.
end, as we walk out, Sam, you should just go live on your phone. Tune into Ace Maneuvers / Twitch TV
Oh my God,
or
if I
whatever
had
it is.
if I had the internet
The
for it out here.
bandwidth. We need the bandwidth. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Carson got a really insane build, though, right? A really insane build back with so much speed reduction, and he's holding a mid and a high. Hey, that ain't gonna stop no tongue whips, though.
No.
He did build a selfish short, though. He
True,
did build
true,
a selfish
true, yeah.
short. So
Which
he's gonna be
again,
a
like,
little
how
safe.
many are we playing in this deck?
He's playing
Because-
3. He's playing
Is he?
3.
Okay.
He's got 3 selfish short.
I was gonna say it's a
100 card
unique,
deck, you know?
and he's drawn his one-ofs really well because he does live long enough to actually see that many
He
cards.
really does. He really
but
does.
we are coming out of our cage, and we are feeling pretty fine about that 5 check. So
We did. This
building
breaker
one from our
2
hand down, building
Oh,
one from the
man,
stage. We're going up to
beautiful.
6. We're going to play a bunch of punches. I think we're just going to get turn 2'd here.
It's possible. And like, look, even if we don't get turn 2'd, 8 damage to the face that might come in still puts George in a really good position. Especially if there's a tongue whip, it's gonna be for
Is
more
that a
than
breaker
8-1.
block?
Like,
Oh, he's got the breaker
we
block.
do have the breaker
Womp
block,
womp.
but we built 2, so it's okay.
Oh, but are we gonna commit Todoroki for it?
Wait, we have to fully commit out right on a 6. Oh, dude, no way. No way. Oh
no, we
it's on
reduced
a-
the speed.
yeah,
oh,
but
they
ice
didn't
glide.
mark. Oh, the dice is so hard to
so
see.
we committed 1 ice gliding and then got stunned 2. That's how we have those 3 committed resources.
Yeah, the die that they're using is like blending in with the cards
It
and
really
the map
is.
for
It
me.
really is.
We had those nice like
my
giant
God.
purple ones
This is
earlier.
gonna be the slowest future charge of all time, though. We have
Eraserhead hours.
Eraserhead hours, man. It's gonna come in with -1 from the ice gliding block, right? So it's a
right.
2-speed. We're gonna graceful it down to.
And then we're gonna play our
basically
face down,
negative speed.
ignoring progressive, and it's gonna raid the rest of our
True.
stage.
This is only gonna be a half
Another
block,
breaker,
but it's a
though.
half block, Sam. It's a half block. That
Mhm,
means we're going to. Or wait, do we? Okay.
We
yeah,
flip for the overall. We get to deal 3.
Yeah, I was about to say 'cause
Delicious.
There was a commit on this, but I think it was our graceful, not self-assured to change the zone.
Right.
So we are going to take half from this. Oh, epic repeated moment. I mean, enhanced commit Shoto.
What did I say? Bunches of punches.
Bunches of punches.
He
bunches
can
of
cancel
punches.
this though.
He
So
can cancel.
we have
this.
to have. That
but-
was from the hand though, right?
Yeah.
So we are gonna have to pay full progressive after we check the 4.
No, that was from the stage.
Was it?
That was from the stage.
How do we get the second face down?
Because
Because we built one from our hand face down with overhaul.
With overhaul.
We did flip one. We
flipped
did flip one.
We
Just
just
now.
flipped
You're
one
right,
to
you're right.
put.
It just
put hurt
happened
on.
to give us +1 on the partial.
Yeah, I mean, Shoto's gonna cancel this repeated ready, obviously. I mean, he only has 2 things committed. I mean, you probably still have to cancel this, or you might just die. at the same time, though, if Shoto cancels this, it's for 6. We self-sack for 7. Overhaul makes it for 9. Tongue Whip for lethal.
I love that.
I mean, it's on a 7. It can't even...
I love that,
Oh,
actually.
this did not come from the stage. We just committed this. We have our 2 face downs. They just look like 1. Because our screen is really dark.
Everything is...
Our screen is really dark.
Everything's blending.
Everything's blended in.
Everything's blending together from this whole
Yeah,
weekend.
I mean, this is repeated from the stage.
Playing
Tongue Whip from a stage either is lethal. He's
I
got it.
want to know.
He's got it.
I want
He's
to
got
walk
it.
over there. What did I say? Turn 2 of the game.
Turn 2 of the
Oh,
game.
I called
baby.
Overhaul winning.
George
said,
George said,
monitor
I can't. I'm
over.
too excited, Sam. Don't tell them I'm knocking the monitor down. they weren't gonna know otherwise.
Well, it messed up
bro.
the audio last time.
Come
so
on.
now-
Hey, I didn't do anything with the audio. I
go
didn't
sign more
I didn't
autographs.
do anything with the audio, man. Come on now, man. Give me a break, bro. Give me a
I
break.
called Overhaul winning. I called game 3 being a turn 2 bunches of bunches.
Hey, look.
We didn't. Okay, so I think it's smart, kind of, to not cancel the ready stuff here because you need to cancel. We're playing it from our hand.
Oh
Jeez.
my God! No, wait.
Jeez.
Actually,
We can fail it though. We can fail it though.
5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4,
but
5,
we
6,
actually
7,
should have
8?
canceled.
Wait,
But we needed to cancel. We can cancel the pickup.
I'm so confused.
This isn't working.
I'm so confused. Have we not played from the hand? I mean, I'm sorry, not played from the stage.
Do we not have anything to play from the stage?
Dude,
Maybe we drew this
We
later.
didn't build this down. That's crazy. I mean, this is for 5.
I want to go over to the table and just look at the face down.
I'm losing my mind. What did we
wanted-
build from our hand face down then that we didn't play from here? He had this in the bag.
Well, I mean, if he attempts to do the pickup, then he did play from his stage, right? Depending on what happens here.
Okay, we must just be really bad, and he played from the stage earlier. Otherwise, this is an illegal enhance right now, and we've just canceled his illegal enhance.
Does it say you can only play it, or does it just say if you have?
Yeah, I guess
let me
he could
take a
just
look. Let me
play
take a
it.
quick
He
look.
could just play it.
Well, no, because if it says you can only play, it says if you have played it. Yeah, it doesn't say only
Okay,
played, so he can call it as a bait.
So he enhanced for nothing, and then Carson enhanced to nothing.
Now, someone in chat will tell us if he played from stage because they're actually paying attention. Yeah, he built the repeated and then played it, but then why did we commit
Why
so
did
many?
we commit so much? Because
was
we had
breaker
breaker
one.
1. It was on a 4. I'm sorry, it was on a 5. We just checked a 4. Why did he commit so much?
Yeah.
I'm really confused.
Why did he commit 3 cards to play repeated with Overhaul?
Yeah, I'm super lost.
I mean, we finally got Carson to like sub 5.
I mean, yeah, we got him to
on turn
4, and
2.
he's obviously not going to do anything back to us.
But
because
he's literally never
100
going to take
card Shoto.
damage again.
Hey,
so-
we don't know all that, all right? We don't know all that.
I think we just overcommitted, and then
Yeah, I truly don't know. I think there was confusion from both of them because
Someone's saying he never played from the stage.
he for sure never played from the stage.
Yeah.
That repeated was on a 7, and we checked a
No,
4.
it's not an illegal play to call the enhance.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it was illegal.
Yeah, no, chat it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm reading
hey, don't
chat.
worry about chat, Sam. Take
Yeah,
This is
it
me
just
and
would
you,
have
this is
no.
me and you
It would
here. What's
actually
up?
have no effect, right?
Yeah, it's funny because as ridiculous as all of that was, I think none of it was illegal because he played
Right.
the enhance for nothing, and then Carson canceled an enhance that was going to do nothing.
Right. It's effectively a next dimension bait. But you also baited yourself. You played yourself by committing to me foundations, but
That's
then you
so
baited
funny.
the rival by announcing an enhance that resolves for nothing. So we have a full brick into a full. I love it.
Build the
I
whole
love it.
hand.
He said you've never killed a man in your life
Bro,
except Phil Birch.
I mean, he's got double passing the torch. He's not actually taking any risk here.
Right.
Bro, we have every asset.
Pro
in the
heroes
galaxy,
with
though.
no cards in hand.
Young heroes.
Young heroes with no
Young
cards. I knew what the
heroes.
effects did. Yeah.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
you need cards
I mean,
in.
tell Carson to draw attacks, which Carson just is not going to do. It's just not going to do. he's once again just got one attack, and we're going to be in a real awkward world for a while now.
Right.
As George figures out how to find that last 4 damage, and Carson figures out how to play this game on 4 health. This Sam is where you're going to see his resource game slow tremendously down because he cannot build 5 every turn and get to 30 because he has no draw power, and we have to perfect block everything from here on out.
This is why we need to be playing Throw Overhaul, but that's a pretty angry hand. It's
Ooh.
got some card draw, but
Double
also
future
has...
charge and something else, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
But our back alley, our almighty back alley.
So what I
oh
really,
no, oh no, the phone is dying. Oh no.
what I really want to see here is I really want to see a maximum overhaul to build down the heroic assistance so we can know exactly what line we need to take. And also, I mean,
He's only at 10.
oh, he's only at
Yeah,
10?
he's not dead locked
Oh,
up.
that's his hand. That's his
Yeah,
hand
he's not
up
that
there.
locked up. Yeah, heroic assistance won't do much for us here. However, we have, I think, 2 future charge in
Triple
hand,
ice
which means
gliding,
we're drawing 3 cards,
graceful.
and we have 2 passing the torch. So if we can't, through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards, figure out how to deal 4 damage, then I don't know, man. Maybe Carson's just destined to win.
I mean, it's game 3 of the biggest tournament in Universes' history. And we've played more cards than maybe any other game in Universes' history
These guys are
throughout
playing
this
for some
match.
real serious stuff right now.
I know
man.
Garrett Brett is eating a bowl of poutine, just absolutely loving his life right now.
Oh, for sure. That man's actually just living his best life.
Yeah,
right
there's
now,
just a one
retroactively
small
through us.
tear dribbling down his
That he's
Canadian
not one of
face.
these players.
Yeah,
That he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
one of these
That's me.
players.
That's me right now. That's me and Barrett watching
yeah,
Carson
yeah,
before,
yeah.
where we were just like, man, I wish I could just stall everybody out.
This is crazy, man.
Because you look at how relaxed Carson is, right?
Oh,
Like
we just
this
drew a
is
back
a
alley.
this is a man with a healthy mental.
Oh,
you know,
for sure.
he's relaxed, he's big chilling. You know, he's just got the hands kind of slack. He's saving that energy, right? I mean, that's what I want to be.
He's Todoroki, big chillin', huh?
Yeah,
Is
just big chillin'.
Yeah.
Maximum
Okay.
chilling.
So we found a back alley for sure. Oh my god, his hand shuffles so fast and our screen
Yeah.
is so dark.
Both these guys are doing everything so fast. They actually are making it the
They're
hardest
here
to
for us.
commentate.
They're here for us, man.
Yeah,
They're-
they
they're
also
here
need to
for
make
us.
their flights. One of
Yeah.
these guys is going to miss their flight guaranteed.
Oh no, yeah.
That's the true Garrett Brett special. Isn't necessarily winning a game on turn 70. It's missing your flight because you're in grand finals.
I can promise you, because fellow players have informed me, and Chet has also informed me, flights have already been missed. for
Oh,
this
there you
final.
go.
They
there
have
you go.
already been missed. Ooh, this is
Oh,
nice.
the
The block and the
acrobatic.
remove, bro. The acrobatics, man. You don't see this one very often.
Back alley. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, we're just going for the throat right now.
Yeah.
We're going for the throat right now.
How
Even
many
with the big
cards-
stage, we can continue to disrespect Carson's aggression here.
How many cards does Carson have in his hand? And also, have we used young heroes to target commit struggling with stays? That's what happened, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
which I think is a great.
yeah,
great
that's
call.
the correct one because he built 2, right?
He has all kinds of stun hate.
He
Anyways.
built 2, right?
Yeah,
And then we blocked with 1, so we should have 4 in hand as Carson.
yeah,
4 cards in hand. Sounds like I just got to attack him 5 more times, and I got it all figured out.
yeah.
I think 5 more moves, and we can wrap this bad boy up. A lot of stuff could go a long way, though, man. Those ice glidings are gonna
Yep.
start, finding their way to futility.
Yeah, the -1 speed from that ice gliding coming into play.
Ooh, not. We got us surviving the finals when our cards in hand. Not the lowest level block mob, but we do have an ice storm in the hand as well, which I
Okay,
think is going to
nice.
stop this back alley pretty beautifully. I would low key love to see George cash out on some EX here and really start pressuring the resources in Carson's stage.
100%.
Bring it to like an 8 speed. Tell him you got to block on an 8, 9, 10, 11. You have
The
to commit your
only-
ice gliding. You have to commit your graceful to pass that block right now,
Mm-hmm.
not 4 blocks later when it gives -9 million speed.
The only
Uh-oh.
thing.
Oh, drowning and resentment moment here.
Whoops.
Drowning
we
and
got a
resentment
clogger
moment
card.
here.
Cool.
Whoopsie daisy.
Maybe we should have drawn a card. Whoops.
Maybe we
If we
should
only
have
played 2
drawn
more
a
cards
card.
and one of them ignores progressive, though, I think it's still the right call.
I agree. Yeah, I think I
Especially
agree
because
with that.
tight lip might matter for making something like lethal on a partial.
I agree. The tight
you
lip
know.
could be pretty. I mean,
EX. I was gonna say the only thing I'd like to
yes,
see
yes,
EX
yes.
spin on more than
Yes,
this is repeated.
cash it out, dude. Cash it out. I think even if you have a repeated, I'd rather it be done now,
Now,
because
so that way you
it
can't
makes
ice
the
glide later,
resources
yeah.
more awkward. Because if he cannot pass this graceful ice gliding block with those committed, then it actually just even though it's EX2ing up here instead
Right.
of 3, you make him lose way more resources if the ice gliding.
Especially if there's a breaker block and you don't know
Yeah,
about it. And it's like, well, I don't want to get breaker.
You're
so.
making the ice glidings find less value. You're not getting the
Yeah.
full range of emotions out of them.
There is so many emotions in this matchup. This really looks like a Momo stage, like all the assets and
It's a
everything.
he has found a lot of them, man. He has found a
Yeah.
lot of them in this game. A lot of the, like they're all like one-ofs, right? I can't imagine any
I
of them
think
are
one is a 2 of.
one
the Trey Sheik
area.
is
One,
2.
oh yeah. I mean, we've established the Trey Sheik is a
yeah.
2 of. We were thinking about digging for it last game.
What are we gonna play from our stage? Have we done the overhaul play from our stage?
I see
yet?
1 dice on our character, so
Yes,
I think
I think
not.
not.
And that might actually stop us from finding lethal again.
He's counting. He's trying to find out.
Oh my god!
He's trying to
no.
figure it out.
A 4 diff on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check a 1. We got 7 things to commit.
Bang.
Oh, we didn't check a 1. We checked a 3.
Bang bang. That's a tongue whip,
4,
baby.
5,
It's
6,
too
7, 8.
fast.
He says.
No, wait, no, it's not. We didn't.
No, we still have.
Even with
we
the EX,
still
we didn't have
a,
to commit anything.
I guess not.
We still have
I
graceful
guess
maneuvers
not.
to counter the tongue whip.
Do you have graceful
What is
maneuvers to
going
counter
on?
the tongue whip?
We had
All
double
the better.
ice. We had double ice gliding plus the -1 from before, so we had like -5 into the EX4.
Yeah, so it was like
Yikes.
what, a 4-speed move on
It
a.
just came back to printed,
I guess so. I guess.
or
yes,
even just
so.
below that. I don't think we committed anything to pass.
I don't think we
check.
committed anything to pass the check.
So I was just on a 5.
This is going to be. This is going to be probably our last block for the turn. Graceful. Make sure that it happens.
Overhaul, just use the other once per turn. So if we only have 1 card in hand, Overhaul wins.
We have
No,
two.
we have
in
2
hand.
cards in
Yeah,
our hand.
we established our hand size a hot
right.
minute ago. However,
Ooh,
if,
block it. A 3 check might kill us here, though, too.
oh my god, he didn't graceful.
We still have Todoroki. Oh my gosh.
Wait, that was on a. We double
okay,
isolated, right? So it was on a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We leave our graceful up and say I can block a thing with -6 speed, but it's got to be the right zone, right?
Right, because
show me the
overhaul-
maxi right now. Show me the maxi from the stage right now, George. Do it. Do it, George.
Another tongue whip.
Do it, George. Do it. We have to be a little quieter because the
There's a tongue whip.
oh, that's so much
Bang.
better. That's so much better. That's
Check
so
the
much better.
3.
Check the 3.
It
Commit
doesn't-
1 singular bad boy to make 4.
We could-
So you have to leave. Oh man. Oh, he's gonna show a high block.
There's the
It's
handshake.
gone. He flips
Oh
the high
my
block on the
gosh.
table and says, "The zones, the lottery, it all came back around." As another tongue whip comes down for game and proves indeed that Overhaul is the coolest as he takes down his national victory in the hands of Jorge Zhang. As we
Oh
are
my
getting
goodness.
ready, this is so funny. Can we, Brian? Can you pan the camera around and show the emptied out venue because this is hysterical. If you, I hope that at some point you guys noticed Sam and I became much quieter because the players are right over there and the barricade of walls and curtains blocking us
Yeah.
from them were taken down long ago, and it meant that our volumes had to follow suit, bringing
Oh, my
Overhaul
goodness.
and George to be your North America national champion, taking down and progressing past the likes of Kevin Broberg, the likes of Jose Narono, every person at King's Court Gaming that tried to challenge the thrones of all of our other organizations, all toppling in the wayside of a singular Panos brother and the Shie Hasaikai leader that stood in his way in this finals. Oh my god, that was wild, Sam.
That
crazy.
was
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
That's the best finals we've ever had at our best event we've ever had. This has been the most successful event in Universes' history.
418, dude.
Yep.
418.
Not just the biggest, just the most successful. We've had so many new eyes on the game, right? We've had so many demos being done.
I think we did
Oh,
somewhere of
man.
130 demos, something like that. We did gunslinging with the judges after everyone got nice
There
and
was
settled.
triple threat. There was a retro cube. There was
A teams event with 150 people in it.
Yep. There was a
Nuts.
retro day one. There's everything. We played
We
like
gave
every
out
format.
oversized character cards. We
Yep.
revealed chromes, and we saw Shoto Todoroki won in the
in
finals.
the final.
Sam, what didn't happen at this national event?
Oh my goodness. Me playing in it. That's about it.
That's that's Sam's
it.
only regret is
That's-
he wasn't the one in that.
I didn't get a
seat.
chance. Yeah.
Look, you can take the man you can take the caster out of the man. You can't take the man out of the caster. He still wants to be in that seat. But I hope, Sam, that this is your second best seat pick to be.
No, this is the most fun I could have had because
Oh,
even
man.
if I was playing in this
give me
tournament,
credit.
first of all,
Give me up, man.
I would
Give me
not
up,
be
man.
from the future, so I would not have made these plays. Second of all, I'd be stressing the whole time. Watching this was an absolute blast. I love these two decks, the way that they played, the neurons that fire, the differences between them, and yet they can play at the same pace. You saw both of them. I mean, in earlier rounds, Carson was aggressing on turn 2 and taking advantage of when his deck does give him the gas, right? He has card pool clearing and foundation ring and all that good stuff. And if you ever leave yourself open for even just a moment, every attack is 12, 13, 14 damage. So this has been so much fun. I hope to see so much more of this. I couldn't ask for a better event. I couldn't ask for a better partner to cast finals with me.
Sam, thank you so much for foregoing all of your desires to be our national champion and coming sit right here in this seat with me. Coming sit right here in this seat behind the microphones and commentating exactly where you were meant to be from the very start. Brian is packing up all of our tech as we speak.
Yeah,
we are the last few cables to be unplugged. So before we are taken from you guys, thank you. Thank you to absolutely everyone involved. Thank you to every single viewer who sat home and watched with us from the beginning of Retro all the way to the end right here. Thank you to every player who showed up, all 400 plus of you guys who came out and fought your heart out for these invites, for these promos. Thank you for everyone who stuck around and played in side events, who stuck out through the main tournament to get those beautiful top cut promos, who just stuck it out to be a part of UFS Universe's My Hero Academia collectible card game history with us. Thank you to everyone on the back end. Thank you to Brian for making sure the stream was running all day and all night long. I already thanked you, Sam, but thanks to my other wonderful casters.
Thank you to Star City Gamescom for having us.
This bad boy on. Look at this guy. He's a crazy guy, right? Millions.
Thank you to Ricardo Fajardo for showing up and signing autographs and hanging out with people, giving us a couple powers.
So many powers. Oh, yes. I can't wait for you guys to see all.
Thank you to our judges. Do we think the judges are
our judges, our staff, Star City Games, our tournament organizers,
vendors,
our staff, our judges, Tony Hevia, our head judge, the man, the myth, the legend, the demo team, literally every single person involved. Rochester.
Thank you to the Starbucks around the
corner. Legendary Wolf Games for vending all weekend long and making sure everyone had all of their retro cards, making sure the My Hero players had their My Hero player cards, and just making sure that everything was running without a hitch. Every single human being involved in this, in some way,
Thank you to all the unborn children out there who are coming into the world in the future, because they're the only people we haven't thanked yet.
The next generation of young heroes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sam is right here with me right now, but the only reason I was able to go and do all of the other amazing things all weekend and record all the amazing content that you guys should be seeing in the coming days, the only reason I was able to do all that is because I had not only one amazing individual to leave in my stead, but two others as well, Barrett Bryan and Keenan Meadows. You guys absolutely killed it all freaking weekend, and it broke my heart a little bit to come and steal the seat from one of them because they deserve it just as much as I do. But the only way I could get this man to forego being one of the players in Nationals, one of the players in Worlds, was to do this finals with him, and I'm very, very glad that we assembled this whole rodeo. That's all of our thank yous. I, for once in 4 weeks, do not have another event to tell you guys to tune in for.
Oh, yeah. We're waiting for Worlds at this point.
We're waiting for Worlds at this point. Our weekends are clear, but obviously there's always more game to be played. We are going to see you guys this coming Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We'll be on in full force, and I'm going to have my Nats casting boys on to help recap even more of the event for you guys that weren't here, and of course to deliver you guys more commentary, more Universus, more action nonstop.
Levi, they're literally kicking us out right now.
Yeah,
we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, they're kind of
kicking us out.
Sorry, I'm too good at this, man. I'm too good at this. I can't wait for you guys to see everything we have in the pipeline, and I cannot wait to see you guys on the Wednesday Webcam Weekly. Until then, stay classy, Universus. Adios.
We'll see you next time.